Hello and welcome to DCP Live, episode number 211. How's it going,
guys?
That's
a big number.
It is.
That is a big number.
It's a 2 and
it's going really well.
Yeah?
Like, we got a huge TWAB to talk about. That's awesome.
We do, yeah.
But Tifty, I've noticed something lately, and I kind of got to call you out on it, you know?
I grew a beard.
I grew a beard, then you grew a beard. I started wearing headphones, and you started wearing headphones. I wore glasses, and you started wearing glasses. I see what you're doing, Tifty, and it's creepy. Please stop.
You said you grew a beard first?
Yes.
I think that's false. Everything else is correct. Everything else is definitely correct.
I see what you're doing, Tifty.
You made Mountaintop cocktails. I just did that last weekend.
This is my brand.
Yeah, I've acquired spectacles. I've also become I've officially upgraded my title to Professor Tifty now. I'm a professor of music history and warlockology. I'm a lore master.
And netcode.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, netcode was a different life, but I don't like to bring that up too much. But yeah, it's part of history.
Professors don't bring up netcode. Professors have moved on to
that was before you got tenure.
Yeah, exactly. Tenure is, some guidelines and outlines have been made that I can't discuss about certain things now that I'm Professor Tifty, So,
I gotta say, Fran, you're looking very good today.
Fran's looking good, yeah.
I think that moisturizer is really working, to be honest.
What eye cream are you using, Fran?
It's probably the eye cream of Battle Bear.
Oh, so the Battle Bear.
Yes.
Those bears, man. Those bears. If you want to see us play Ghost of Tsushima together, check any one of our VODs on Twitch because it was a lot of fun. It was hilarious. That's the last time we're going to talk about it in this show.
Definitely.
Last time.
The last time.
That's it. Unless a Twitter question or two comes up about it.
Last time, obviously. Also Battle Bear. Last time.
Last time.
Battle Bear was so good.
We had a lot to talk about. We saw the trailer, the story trailer for Beyond Light.
Yeah.
Eramis. I'm popping some wishes to for Eramis, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Put her on my squad.
Mm-hmm.
You think she's going to be a key team member?
You think there's going to be a Genshin Impact crossover?
That would be amazing.
I'd be interested in seeing what that would look like for sure. I'd be curious, definitely.
Hopefully she's really small. That would be great. And runs with her arms out.
Yeah.
Ideally.
All four of them behind her.
Yeah. Like an airplane. Right?
We also saw Varix come back. Is this the first time we've seen Varix in Destiny 2?
Since he crossed over us with the whole unleashing people from the prison?
Yeah.
I think, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. The last time we saw him was Destiny 1, right?
As a collective lore masters, I'm gonna go with yes. This is the first time.
A definite yes. I believe you more now that you have glasses.
Yeah. +10 intelligence.
First time I saw Tifty, I was like, he looks like a warlock. He looks like Merlin or something. He's just sitting there with his books and.
Whoa! Would you call Merlin a warlock?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I think Merlin's a wizard. I think warlock's different. They're similar but different. Like, why would you just say wizards? Wizard class, wizard. It's like,
what's the difference?
One smells, one doesn't.
Might have to go to Urban Dictionary to figure this out.
We might have to.
Should we jump right into the? Let's talk about the story trailer because that was actually pretty cool.
It was very cool.
We saw Eramis, the new baddie, right? This is going to be the story baddie. We don't expect this to be the raid baddie. Are you guys on the same page there?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Unless they like put it together somehow, but generally I would say that's correct.
We saw Varix obviously come back. The Exo Stranger looks like got some connection to Varix.
Yes, for sure.
This is why people come here for their lore.
Tune in next week when we have Mylan on the show, who actually knows about things.
Is that a real thing? Is Mylan really coming on the show next week?
He's coming on next week.
Perfect.
He's going to tell us about all the lore of everything. It's going to
We
be
can teach him all that we have.
We're going to cross-reference and confirm all the information about lore that we're going to be discussing.
There was a part where like it kind of looks like Eramis is like saying we're getting away from the machines, right? We're not going to rely on the machines.
Do you say
and there's an
Eramis?
Yeah. How do you say it?
I say it like behemoth.
Anyhow,
Eramis. No, wait. This is just too funny. Because Eramis, but you just said Eramis.
Eramis. Yeah, Eramis.
That does make her sound more intimidating.
You just said Eramis.
or like a butthole. One or the other.
That's a medical condition.
This is great. I love it.
So it sounds like she's saying we're gonna get away from like the machines that have kind of are overlords. Meanwhile, there's like a servitor right behind her, and I swore she was gonna destroy the servitor, but she didn't.
Right.
She's more focused on the traveler.
She was like, bitch, be cool. It's like
that servitor was sitting in the back, like, getting rid of the machines.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? A little nervous.
Getting checked.
Where's this going exactly?
Yeah.
Did anybody pre-approve this script?
Side note, she's got a cool little Stasis warlock
thingy
thing going on. She's got like the collar. She got a Stasis collar.
Yeah.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah, she controls Stasis as well. Like her powers seem to be of the Stasis variety.
She seems to be under the impression that only they have the Stasis, because she's like, we are taking this dark power, darkness, Stasis, let's go. And then Guardians are like, I'm gonna do that too.
Yeah, we're gonna show up and be
I think
we'll take those, please.
I think she thought she had a little leg up on us with that. But yeah, it shows her like putting her minions into a circle, and there's like the pyramids, little baby pyramids floating around, and he grabs them and just is then able to command Stasis power.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, super fascinating.
A lot of what's in this trailer to me, it's similar to the most recent. Now I'm forgetting the word for it, but it's kind of got that like futuristic, kind of like 90s retro, like 90s retro future kind of look to it. Like again, and I like a lot of neons, a lot of pinks, a lot of neon blues. The dungeon, thank you. Which I absolutely adore the look of this trailer. It really looks good. Bungie's so good at making these trailers too, you know.
So good.
They're insanely good at this stuff. Their marketing team just every time it's hype.
Yeah. And like I feel like they've had a harder road to go down because of the delay this time, right? Because they started marketing this in what? May? June? When was the first time we heard about Beyond Light?
I think it was May. Right? Or like April possibly, like a little teaser, then more details about it in May.
So it's been a while, and like at some point it's like, whoa, well, if we're gonna delay it, we got to slow down the marketing for this. But they've kept a pretty constant level of hype, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, this story is super interesting. Having this set of Fallen that are now following Eramis, and she's giving them all Stasis powers, and part of it kind of reminded me of Forsaken, where we saw the Barons. And like they all looked very unique, and they had their individual powers, because it does show some of her, I guess, closest bad guy friends who are unique, and they've been given special superpowers. So that makes me excited, because I loved the Barons in Forsaken, hunting them down and having those individual fights with.
Yeah, that was cool.
Was really cool.
That was some of the best like single player or campaign based Destiny content that we've had.
Yeah, I love it.
It's really cool. Yeah, it's exciting.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I've also seen people are starting to receive their collector's editions, like the you know how like they did like a collector's edition that doesn't actually have the game in it this time. I've seen people are starting to receive those. They're shipping out. People are receiving them. I saw Dado did an unboxing. I think it was today. It might have been yesterday. But if you ordered that should be coming soon. I think.
Yep.
Anything else about the story trailer we want to talk about, or you want to just jump into this meaty as heck club?
Eric's got frozen. He was like, "Eramis, what's up?" She's like, gotta put him in the icicles."
Yeah. It's tough to discuss things like that because it's just like, yeah, it's amazing. It's hype. I want to see what happens with it. It's exciting to see the cinematic quality that they always like put out. That's amazing. And for me with Beyond Light, I'm in this place where I'm like, man, I just want to play some new Destiny. And we still got a little ways to wait. It's getting excited. There. Yeah.
The location is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're like 19 days away now, right?
Yeah, something like that.
We're close.
So it's getting really close. Mm-hmm. November 10th. Luckily, there's nothing else happening on that week, so we should be clear.
All clear,
really,
right?
Like focus,
nothing
all
else
energy.
Good to go.
So Watts, I heard that they fucked up hand cannons. Destiny's done now. What happened?
I haven't looked at Twitter. I looked at the.
Lucky you.
I looked through the TWAB on stream and we talked about it. And my chat was pretty happy, like in general. So I don't know what the overall opinion is.
Also, apparently, we're supposed to get a license from Bungie to stream their game.
Oh, right.
From Twitter. Yeah.
Stadia is trending, guys.
Not for the right reasons.
Not for the right reasons.
Can we talk about that, or is that a side quest topic? Can we do it briefly?
We could just briefly mention it.
All right, so I can't remember the guy's name. I'll look up the guy's name, but Andrew something, right? Does anybody remember his name?
I blocked him immediately.
He's a creative director of one of the companies that Google Stadia purchased. All right.
Right. Like so that was a little confusing at first because if you look at his Twitter bio, it just says creative director Stadia. That seems to mean that he's a creative director of Stadia, but he's not. He's a creative director of a studio that works with Stadia. But he went on Twitter and he's basically like, it's funny to see I'm paraphrasing. It's funny to see all these Twitch streamers get upset about the DMCA not being able to use copyrighted music when they should be thinking about using other people's work when they're playing games, and that they should be paying the creators of the games money to stream them.
Getting a license to stream a game for Twitch.
Right. Yeah. Similar to like what radio stations do with music, or like if you're a bar and you want to show TV, you're supposed to get a license to do so.
Yep.
Which is technically correct.
Technically.
In old world media, yes.
In old world media.
That is correct. In today's digital age, and it's
what struck me as hilarious about this was that Stadia, and this was before I knew he wasn't actually a creative director at Stadia, was how they marketed Stadia. One of the three things they marketed Stadia with was the ability to like be watching one of your favorite creators play a game, and then in that browser window, just click on the game and start playing it immediately. I'm like that because that to me was one of the coolest features of Stadia, which still hasn't happened. That feature, that functionality is not there, but it seemed like a forward-thinking feature, and this is such a backward-thinking like idea of how media works in a world where like the game companies now pay creators to play their games and to market their games.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, this is just a completely ass backward way of thinking of this.
It's like saying, why don't the billboards pay us to put our images up there or something for advertising, as opposed to paying for the billboard space, you know? Because ultimately, when you have a bunch of eyeballs looking at something that's technically value right there, and he's completely ignoring that value, 100%.
He's also the same guy who said animating women is too hard, and that games media prefers Japanese games, so that's why they always say that they're good. So he's just a great guy all around. He's just great, just a great man.
Wow.
I didn't even respond to him. I didn't quote tweet it. I was just like, I'm just gonna block him.
Okay.
Now I think so then I know that he's not a guy I need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a swell chap.
Wow, I didn't know he said any of that. I was gonna say it's everybody says stupid stuff on Twitter, so like let's not like roast and pillory the guy. But I mean, maybe if he's got a history of being an asshole, maybe he's just an asshole.
Maybe he had it coming. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like kind of like what Twitch has done for games, like you look at games like Fall Guys or Among Us or
Fortnite,
hell, Destiny,
Phasmophobia.
Yeah, Phasmophobia. Destiny, I think, is a great example of a Twitch community, like very much like prolonging the life cycle of a game.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many different games that are like on that list of like, where would they be if like they hadn't been picked up by social media influencers?
Yeah.
It's hard to say where they'd be, right? I mean, they were working on Among Us 2, and then somehow Twitch just kind of like, streamers just grabbed that game and just rocketed it into public.
Yeah. That game came out in
public
2018,
space.
I believe.
Right.
2018, nothing was going on, and then suddenly it sprout up because of a couple people who were huge. I think played it on YouTube, and then it caught on to Twitch, and like, yeah, should all them be buying licenses from Among Us? Anyway,
yeah,
it's an insane argument.
And the other part about the argument is the fact that what he's asking for already exists. If you want your terms of use to include that you have to pay us if you want to broadcast this game, that technology exists. You can do that. Nintendo's had done it for years, and they kind of like backed off of it finally. But do you remember you had to like apply to be a Nintendo creator?
Yeah,
to post on
you
YouTube?
have to
wanted
give
to, like,
10% of your revenue to Nintendo, so people stopped playing Nintendo games.
Right.
It was so backward, it killed it. And then they're like, "Oh, I guess that doesn't work." Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a outdated idea. I didn't know he also had like weird other ideas.
Just block that guy.
Well, let's talk about the TWAB now. All right?
Yeah, let's talk about
Twab.
the TWAB. This is
Twab.
There's a lot of juice here. So we got the Sandbox update.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want to do this? You want me to just like start listing the things off and
let's go
just
from the top.
interrupt when you want to talk about it?
Section by section, and we'll just talk about each section when you've read that section.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna start off with hand cannons. We're making changes to give hand cannon subfamilies more diversity and more reasons to use each. So the aggressive, they increased the rate of fire from 110 to 120. They broke out aggressive hand cannons, allowing custom tuning of stats. Example, damage fall off for 100 range is this in this subfamily now starts at 32 meters.
Do you think that's going to be useful? Are you going to whip out a 110, which is now a 120 now?
Maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah, maybe. Sometimes I did like using 110s because they hit hard. If they are slightly faster firing and they still hit just as hard, could they be competitive? The penalty is still going to be huge for missing a shot.
True.
But if the time to kill is super competitive, they are fun to use. Like they feel badass when you're using them.
And the disparity is like thinner now because like basically you have 120s and 140s is essentially what you're looking at in the landscape now. And they already, if you're already good with a 110, then this is just good news for you. You're like, oh, my 110 is going to be better. And also it's getting tuned outside of the other hand cannons, which is good. I think that's a good move so far.
Yeah, so far I think it's good. There's been a couple 110s that I've generally enjoyed, so having it be 120 and then having them hopefully have longer range. I mean, currently looking at some of this, they do have longer range than other hand cannons. I think that sounds good to me. It makes sense.
Tuning their damage fall off to be longer or farther than the 150 140s.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's I can't remember the name of it. It was from the Iron Banner in year 1 of Destiny 2. Was it Criminal's
Dagger.
Criminal's Dagger. I used to like using that quite a bit. And now if it's even more competitive. Although to be honest, I liked it because I would steal kills from my friends because it takes massive chunks of damage. So if you
the ultimate
show up to a
kill
gunfight
stealer.
late and you just like steal a kill real quick. Adaptive and precision. So range stat now has more impact on minimum damage fall off range for both archetypes. Damage fall off for a 100 range now starts at 25 meters. It was 20 meters. So when they say 100 range, they mean 100% damage. Am I reading that correctly?
100% range, right?
So you
if the range stat was 100 maxed out, I think is what they mean.
So 100% damage, the range at which 100% you get 100% damage.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that is now 25 meters. It was 20 meters on adaptive and precision. Precision hand cannons, 180 rate of fire, magazine scaled up by 37%. So you get more bullets in the 180s. This also affects exotics with that rate of fire.
That's interesting. I think that's going to be really nice for Malfeasance, because obviously Malfeasance, you need to shoot a bunch of bullets into a dude to get that exotic perk. So that's exciting. And generally, you can feel with these guns sometimes that you don't have enough bullets. So I think that's going to be a good change.
Yeah.
In general.
Lightweight folded into adaptive. So they moved all lightweight hand cannons, the 150 rate of fire, to the adaptive subfamily of 140 rate of fire. This includes Luna's Howl, and Not Forgotten. One exotic hand cannon will retain 150 rate of fire. It's Sunshot. So there's only going to be one 150.
We are leaving it to speculation. It's beautiful. It does solo damage. It makes enemies explode. It's Sunshot.
So to be honest, the 150 rate of fire hand cannon was my preferred hand cannon. Yeah, right? It was like the one I would seek out. And at first, when I read this, I was like, "Oh, well, they're getting rid of my favorite archetype, except for Sunshot," which I am happy to see because I do like Sunshot. But what they're really like, my feel is not such that I could feel the difference between 150 and 140. But I know that, like, theoretically, it's faster. It's got a faster time to kill. And I think that, like, if they're all on an even playing field, that's good, I think.
Yeah, if I look at this just from what we're going to have now, so we're going to have 120s, we're going to have 180s, we're going to have 140s. And then, of course, we have Sunshot, which is the only 150. This just looks like each hand cannon archetype is going to have more of an individual playstyle, an individual feel, and you're going to pick each hand cannon for a specific reason. Instead of, 140, 150, okay, 110, 180, like it just seems like it makes more sense in terms of tuning them to be unique and feel different.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. I felt like 140 didn't really have a place.
Exactly.
Because 150 was just better.
Yeah, it was like, why use a 140 if you could use a 150? Just across the board, in both in PvE and PvP. So...
Yeah, they actually say why they chose 140. So I'll just read that quickly. It's jumping ahead a little bit, but they said that they selected 140 because it's fairly balanced in the Crucible sandbox. It gives other weapon archetypes more time to breathe between shots, avoids an overabundance of hand cannons with faster TTK than other weapons, and pairs nicely with upcoming changes to 600 rate of fire auto rifles. So it also seemed that when they were comparing the two between 150 and 140, they could never find a time ever where 140 could have a similar time to kill as the 150. It just never happened.
Yeah.
So I think they were looking at that like, well, there's no way that we're ever going to say, hey, go check out this 140 hand cannon, because 150s are just inherently always better. So they decided to just do this, which I think makes sense.
Yeah, this is kind of the thing about the slow firing weapons, is that if you make changes to their time to kill, the changes are massive, right? Because if you change them between 2 and 3 bullets, you're taking a third of the time to kill off. If you change it from 4 to 3 bullets, you're taking a quarter of the time to kill off. They're huge chunks of the small changes can make a huge chunk of difference.
Yeah.
And having to tune 150 and 140 separately, 150s were my favorite, so I am going to miss that. But hopefully, the fact that all of it is tuned better will mean that, like, I don't miss it for long.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking forward to changes across the board in general. I'm also looking forward to the 120s, because for a while I've just ignored 110s because I don't like how slow they were. I feel like just a bit faster is going to make it more palatable especially for PvE. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not necessarily sold on the 150 to 140 change, but like, yeah, it's weird. Like, I'm with you, Briar. It's like that was my favorite archetype when I was going to use a hand cannon. And we do still have Sunshot, which is a fantastic hand cannon.
Sunshot's going to be the meta hand cannon now, hey? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Hopefully that's not the case, though, because then that's just going to create more of that problem where it's like, well, why would you use anything else than Sunshot in PvP? And it's like, oh, boy.
On the other hand, I'm excited for like things like the Ostringer or other 140s that felt pretty good and had good perks and I had good rolls, but they just couldn't really compete. I'm excited to use those and see how they feel.
Yeah.
So I think in terms of balance, like if we look at it from a balance standpoint, this is going to make Crucible more balanced and more easy to balance in the future because you have very specific archetypes instead of this 150, 140, which are kind of the same, but just a little bit different.
Yeah.
So I think, if you're looking for balance and you like balance, you should technically be into it.
I also think it's really funny how Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten has fallen even further from where they started. It is true. There were these 180s, they dominated, and it was insane. It was like, it's all over the place, especially on console. And then they just got like hatcheted down to 150s. And now they're getting chopped even further. It's like, I mean, they're getting sunsetted.
Make them 120s.
Yeah.
Just make them 120s. Give them a perk that allows you to, like, I don't know, one-shot headshot or
Bring
something.
Bring them down to Ariana's Vow level.
I think ultimately the game needs that, though. Like, it can't have the same guns be the meta
totally.
years on end. Like, that's just insanely boring, especially in a game that's a looter. You know, like, the whole point is to get new special gear. And they can't let power creep happen, so there has to be something interesting about the new gear. And in this case, their solution is to make the old gear suck.
Yeah.
I wonder how good Ace of Spades is going to be, because that one used to be pretty damn good. And now that there's no 150s around,
I think it's still going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, Thorn, I bet we see a lot of too, right? Because that's a 140, isn't it?
No, Thorn was a 150.
No.
Yeah, Thorn's getting.
Was it a 150? Okay.
Yeah,
but it's
that one.
Be good.
That one I'm a little like strange about too, because it's one of those guns that I've had a lot of time with, and just that little change is gonna make the pacing feel different. I'm gonna be like, what did they do to Thorn? No, that's right. They're changing archetypes. Yeah, I think it's gonna be between Ace and Sunshot for people's go-to hand cannons.
I already love using Sunshot in the Crucible.
Sunshot's fun.
Really good.
And I'm excited for things, like Malfeasance. Because the problem was that, you finally get to the point where you can stack stuff. Say you're shooting a super and you finally get that to proc the exotic perk, and you have to reload. So having like just extra bullets is going to be interesting for Malfeasance specifically.
Yeah.
Next up is sniper rifles. They say we want sniper rifles to feel powerful without being so easy to use that they dominate. So they're adjusting how much aim assist is affected by sniper rifle zoom level. Lower zoom scopes have less aim assist. High zoom scopes have more. Scopes with around 50 zoom are unchanged. The lowest zoom scopes have a large reduction in aim assist. High zoom scopes have a small increase.
Now, this is a lot of talk of cones. So here's where I will say, check out Firing Range next Wednesday. The Cone Masters.
Yes.
Who will give you like all the fine details about what this could actually mean. But for us simpletons, less aim assist on low zoom scopes, more aim assist on high zoom scopes.
Yeah, this is.
I feel like I've read this before in a TWAB.
They've definitely gone down this path before, and they've had a history of overcorrecting sometimes. And the problem with this is it's so like ambiguous. It's like if it's a lower zoom, it's going to have a bigger reduction. And like, well, what does that mean? Are you going to really feel it as a controller user? Are you going to really feel the difference of that drag scope, or is it going to be like business as usual once you're back into the rhythm of things, or is it? I don't know. Is it going to be drastic? Like how intense?
Could go one of two ways, right? So we still have the option of low zoom scopes, which when they did something like this before in D1, they were just like, no low zoom scopes. Everything's kind of just high zoom, which kind of killed sniping in Crucible. With this one, you still have it. You're just going to have to get a little bit more accurate and not rely on the aim assist to run around and kind of run and gun with a sniper. So they could go that way. People could be like, okay, cool. I can get used to it. That's fine. Or people end up just sitting in the back of the map with their super high zoom scopes trying to snipe everybody in the face. God. Which would not be super fun.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite snipers in D1 were the ones with lower aim assist, like Ep.211's Spear. Gets a bad rap because it had the perk we will not talk about. So it gets a bit of a bad rap.
Something.
Final
sauerkraut.
It's the final candy corn, something like that.
Final candy corn.
But it had really low aim assist, and I really like that sniper. So I think people will probably get used to it. Sniping is not difficult in D2. It was more difficult in D1. So I think this change is something that needs to happen, and people who are good at sniping and like sniping probably will not have a problem with this change.
Oh, yeah, they'll still take your face off.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
Auto rifles. In Season of the Worthy, the adaptive archetype 600 rate of fire was given a buff. We're pulling that back a little to keep it in check with other auto rifle archetypes. So the adaptive frame is they're getting a damage per bullet reduction from 15.75 to 14.25. Prior to Season of the Worthy, damage per bullet was 13.75. So it's like dead middle.
Yeah. This on paper looks great and makes sense, because when they were at 13.75, it was very underwhelming. No one was using them. At 15.75, it's way too overused, too strong. So hoping that 14.25 is that sweet spot that makes them still good and viable, but you can't just spray and annihilate everything.
Yeah, gnawing hunger's out there.
So I mean, on paper it makes sense. It's really hard to see this and know exactly how it's going to play out, because you have these hand cannon changes. How does that work with the AR changes? I don't know. How does that feel? No idea. But on paper it makes sense and seems like it's in a good spot.
Yeah. Right now they're really strong. I don't want to see them get completely buffed into or nerfed into the ground.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Like, this seems like a reasonable response.
Part of it, though, like I said, gnawing hunger, it just can roll with some beautiful perks that make it a monster. So I think that's part of the issue as well. It's not just like the damage, because once you start proccing some of the perks for damage buffs on there, it murders.
Scout rifles. Scouts have a reasonable time to kill and can't be adjusted too much without making them dominant on the battlefield. So we're making them a little easier to use. Increase how much each point of the aim assist stat widens the aim assist cone. Fire range airs every other week.
They talk a lot about cones.
They do.
At maximum, the aim assist cone is now 15% wider. So this just
saw this and I was
they're
like,
going to be easier to hit headshots with, right? Like,
yeah, great. More aim assist. Cool.
Yeah.
I think so we have experienced scout rifles being meta, right? And it's normally been pretty miserable because everyone's just super far away, sitting behind a rock, waiting for you to come, and they just slap you with a scout rifle. This is interesting because I will say it is easier to hit shots with a sniper rifle than it is to hit with a scout rifle. So it is nice to see that scout rifles are getting an ease of use, and maybe that will make people use them more. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but they are a little. Some of them feel a little cumbersome to use.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And you have to hit headshots. If you hit body shots, it feels like you're just slapping someone with a pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randy's throwing knife has been my favorite scout to use, and everything else has been, for the most part, just painful. Like, just in D2, most scout rifles are just straight up painful to use because you're trying to get headshots, and for whatever reason, the way the game calculates the bullets just doesn't naturally reward it like it did in D1. You know, Vision Confluence, there was like this stickiness to it where you were hitting shots. And it's like, man, this is a great feeling scout rifle because you're rewarded with the aim and all that. And in D2, there's just more variables. I feel like it just doesn't naturally hit headshots with most scout rifles.
Yeah, scout rifles in D2 feel like how a lot of weapons at the beginning of D2 felt, where you use them and you're like, they just feel like I'm kind of fighting them. They're not working with me. They don't feel particularly smooth. So I'm hoping this puts it into that point where it does feel smooth and good to use.
Yeah. Scout rifles are a pain because it's one of the weapons that you are most, it's got a use case and you have to use it in that use case. It's useless. It's useless to try and use it up close, right? You're not going to win any gunfights up close. So you're really restricted in how you use it. So there should be some benefit to using it correctly.
Yeah.
You know, but if you make the time to kill too fast, then you just end up with another scout rifle meta, which sucks because it's everybody just peeking around corners halfway across the map, and it's a really boring way to play the Crucible.
Whoa, Briar! You said you enjoyed Vanilla D2.
I did enjoy Vanilla D2, not that part of it.
Okay, I'm just
Didn't we used to call scout rifle users cowards?
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
I'm just doing my due diligence here, doing a little fact checking. All right.
You know, I can't remember I had to do some Crucible quests not that long ago. And it was like, just get as many kills as you can. Oh, it was one of those ones where the more kills you get, like the more points you earn. But if you get any deaths, you like lose some of your points. I can't remember what it was. And of course I used a scout rifle for that because it's like the safest weapon to use in the Crucible because you just stay all the way back and blink people from afar. Rocket launchers. These heavy weapons currently have very low reserves, so we're adjusting that. We expect to take another look at rocket launchers in a future season. They increase reserves by 1 or 2 rockets depending on inventory stat. Didn't they just reduce how many reserves you have?
Did it? No.
Recently. Was it
that
the
D1?
reserves or the other? I don't know.
Maybe that was
I thought it was how
D1 where
many
they
you pick up in a brick or something. Maybe.
Oh, they did reduce that somewhat recently.
Yeah.
How much you pick up in a brick.
They've just been in such a weird spot with the way grenade launchers have been in the meta. You know?
It's almost like grenade launchers should just be heavy weapons. I don't know.
It's almost like let's just delete grenade launchers. Can we just delete them? Just all of them. They cause nothing but problems. Give rockets back their crown, please.
The thing is, in D1, rockets were rockets. Freaking rockets, man. Gallahorn was like, holy crap. When you got the Gallahorn, you are nuking enemies. You're like, don't worry, guys. I got this. I got Gallahorn ammo. You're like, oh, yeah. Got this. You're good. Now it's like, well, you know.
I have a rocket.
I've got a grenade launcher. I've got 3 grenade launchers, and I'm killing everything. Meanwhile, you're still reloading your rocket.
Yeah, that's true. That is an accurate statement.
I was saying maybe there's a rocket in Beyond Light that's just so nuts that they were like, we'll give them a couple more reserves, and we'll see how it goes because this rocket launcher is absurd. Maybe that's what's happening.
Yeah.
They had some general stuff. The following is a list of surgical changes for select weapons based on player feedback. Some of these changes apply to weapons that are a little too far ahead of other options, while others simply small buffs to increase the weapon's effectiveness. They start with perks, mainly Outlaw. The reload speed increase felt insufficient with certain subfamilies and combinations of rolls. Example, aggressive hand cannons. So they increase reload stat bonus from plus 50 to plus 70.
Wasn't this one of these things that they rolled back?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, like before.
How does Briar feel about this? Because Briar is the reload man.
I like fast reloads. Watching a reload animation is distinctly not fun. So like anything I can do to get rid of that is good. And so I'm happy to see that they're buffing Outlaw. That's good.
No complaints from me.
I'm good with that too. I like seeing the fast.
Yeah.
Like, I actually like watching the animation when it's wicked fast. I get excited over seeing how fast it's.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like what is the Warlock gauntlets that give you fast reload? And then have an Outlaw on top of that, like doubling up on that? That makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reason I ran Warlock so much in year 1.
Day 1 Warlock.
It's been said. Merciless. Merciless increased inventory stat from 36 to 55. This increases reserve ammo.
I love how they say increased inventory stat and they give you a thing and they're like, guys, this means it gets more reserve ammo.
Yeah.
Because they know we're stupid. They could do that with everything else.
They're very stupid.
Can we have the simpleton twab where it's like, talk to me, explain this to me like I'm 5, please?
Yeah.
Tifty, I feel like you should read the next spot. I mean, it's
Mountaintop?
really is a gun
Yeah, you got
that's
it.
special to you.
So
Merciless is good though. I like that. It's a great gun, and doing this is a good thing. I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, it needs more ammo. I like it. Mountaintop, everybody's favorite rocket launcher that's
Hefty's
in your kinetic slot.
launcher.
Everyone's favorite. When you gotta do a Mountaintop, you're like, God damn, that was some skill. That Guardian is going pro. So they said, we've had a ton of feedback that Mountaintop feels a bit over the top in Crucible modes. A bit?
Well,
a bit?
I haven't heard that feedback. Have you guys heard
5
this?
years?
A bit. That's strange. This pinnacle weapon has ample time to shine, so we're taking it down a notch. Just one notch, huh? Just
It's going from 12 to 11.
It's going from absolutely busted to, man, still really destroys everything. Specific pain points. A one-shot body shot with infinite range. These are pain points.
That sounds pretty stupid.
They're going to list the stupid parts about Mountaintop right now. One-shot body shot range from infinite range. You feel good, though, when you get those. All right?
No, I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't. Come on now. You've had at least one. No? You haven't used it?
I don't think so.
You haven't got a cross map?
I might have gotten it in might have got it in a random loadout maybe once. I haven't really used it.
Okay. Well, yeah. Quick and easy cleanup of wounded guardians, even around corners. The old rocket swap, you know? Deals high splash damage, rewarding players for inaccuracy. Are they saying low skill? With the
I think they
Mountaintop?
just said it's low skill. Yeah. I think it literally says it right there.
They just said Tifty is a scrub.
They just called out people with low skill using this gun. Good thing I've never used it in the Crucible. Also, I'm a Warlock main. Perfect in-air accuracy allows airborne guardians to rain down death, and there's not much grounded guardians can do to respond. This actually does sound very Warlocky. I'm just saying.
It does.
It reeks of Warlock right there.
Rain down death.
Yeah, floating, hanging in the air. Very Warlock. Here are the changes intended to address those points. Reduced splash damage by 33%. Increased impact damage. Increased impact damage such that total damage is 5% lower than before. Total damage. So they're calculating total damage in a spherical radius for the splash?
Yeah, I guess so. They're looking at, if you put the splash damage and impact damage together, it's going to be 5% lower overall.
That's not much percent.
That is a smidge down a notch.
That's
we didn't
an
say one notch, a single notch.
That's one notch. Reduced projectile velocity multiplier from the micro missile perk from 1.4 to 1.2, i.e. now 20% faster than other breached grenade launcher instead of 40% faster. So another notch, just
a little smidge.
One down.
It's like I touched the dial, but it didn't actually adjust the volume. Kind of.
When you're cooking and they tell you to put it on medium, but then they tell you to put it on medium low, and you just like do a little touch, just a little
between the little dots. Like, also reduced in-air accuracy now has significant projectile air while in air, around 7 degrees without the Icarus mod grip, substantially less width.
Okay.
This sounds like they're trying not to offend Mountaintop mains.
Yeah.
Where's the part where it says now shoots puppies? That's really what I want to see.
I read the in-air accuracy. First of all, Top Tree Dawnblade doesn't care about that, so they don't care at all. They're still like, sure, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
You don't need many mods on Mountaintop. Like having quick access sling is fine, sprint grip, whatever you want to put is fine. It makes it nice, but it's not necessary. So you can easily switch those mods for Icarus and I'm sure you won't really notice much of it.
They said with that, now has significant projectile air while in air around 7 degrees without the Icarus grip mod, substantially less with. So if you do throw that Icarus grip, it's going to negate a lot of that reduced in air accuracy.
So let's say you have an Icarus mod on your Mountaintop. That basically just reduce in air accuracy. We don't care. We have an Icarus mod. What is the actual nerf we're getting? We're getting 5%.
I'll tell you what the nerf
damage.
is. The nerf is that if you're across the map and somebody fires a Mountaintop, you're less likely now to die from a direct hit from it. All right? You're still going to have people running around, jumping up, looking down, firing a Mountaintop, and then they're basically dead or getting cleaned up by the teammates. This like shaves off maybe 5% of the nuisance of Mountaintop, while Mountaintop still gets to be Mountaintop in Beyond Light.
Yeah.
What if, hear me out here. What if they said Mountaintop now requires purple ammo?
Purple?
Less Mountaintop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to...
And so think about this. We're about to have Stasis in the Crucible, right? Do you know what Stasis does? It freezes
You're about
things.
to have Stasis. I'm about to have Cosmic Ice.
Yeah.
We're about to have Cosmic Ice in the Crucible. Cosmic Ice freezes you. You know what freezing does? Keeps you still. So yes, you have 33% less AoE damage, but when someone's frozen and they can't move, you could probably hit them directly with your Mountaintop.
Yeah. It seems like a small band-aid for a bigger problem with that gun. I think the Mountaintop is still going to reign supreme for a lot of people to just, I'm going to equip the Mountaintop in PvP while in Beyond Light. Quick play Mountaintop sweats.
We had a whole discussion about this on stream, and I was like, the issue with Mountaintop is it is so easy to use, but to counter it, you have to play so hard and specifically to counter the person using it. So the effort that you put in to counter it is significantly less than the effort put in to get kills with it. So you can just run around as a full team with Mountaintop being like, her, and the other team's like, oh God, gotta jump, he's coming, gotta dip, gotta dive, and that's not balanced even slightly.
Yeah.
It's just, unless I see Bungie say deleted at this point, I'm just gonna say it's not good enough. Mountaintop has done nothing good for this game.
Yeah.
It trivialized a bunch of PvE and it plagued PvP.
And it's really only going to end up in quick play at this point. Like, that's where you're going to see this. And a lot of people are probably going to just be like, well, people hate it, and I want to make people hate me in the Crucible, so I'm going to use Mountaintop.
After we talk about the story, we got to talk about the lawsuit against the cheaters. I totally forgot about that.
Forgot about that.
Forgot about it. Okay, so we'll do the TWAP first.
Yeah.
Mountaintop's rough, man.
So good changes coming, huh? Well done, Bungie.
Good changes. Good luck with your free frozen Mountaintop shots. Good luck. God bless.
Yeah. Cosmic icy Mountaintop.
Now, while you're stuck to the ground, you can watch that thing coming.
You can watch the Mountaintop fly at you slightly slower than before.
Yeah, right? You have more time to think about how much you hate the Mountaintop.
Mm-hmm.
The Falling Guillotine reduced heavy attack damage by 24% to bring in line with other swords.
That's a big chunk.
Yeah, that is a big chunk. Note, Falling Guillotine will continue to be slightly above average, just not to the extent that it is now.
So it's still the go-to PvE sword. It's just not
24%. It's no
it's
more
a big
like
chunk.
It's no more Dark Drinker.
Maybe this is to make room for that new exotic sword that's going to heal you.
Let's hope so. Well, that's look, support it's fun to have support around, but it's less fun than doing massive damage.
What if you do massive damage and get healed from the stomp so you can keep doing massive damage?
Interesting.
Great. That'd be great.
I just saw Space Jumper in chat say Guillotine got a bigger nerf than Mountaintop.
It did.
And it hurts because it's so true.
It hurts because it's true. Yep.
Mida Multi-Tool and Mida Mini-Tool The mini tool moved the Midas Energy trait to the intrinsic, similar to how the Baroque version works. They added the following perks: Hipfire Grip and Kill Clip.
Cool.
Note there is an issue with the masterwork on this weapon that prevents it from being upgraded. This will be fixed in a later update. And the gunsmith will begin selling a version of this weapon on November 10th with no infusion cap. So this one is not going to be taken away from us. It's just, well, you're going to have to get a new one, but...
Right.
It's something we were wondering about, right? Because we're like, well, Mida and also the exotic Sturm isn't going to be Sunset. They have two parts, so it would be silly if the other part was Sunset. So I'm glad that they officially addressed it.
Yeah. I assume that we won't have to do another quest. Like, we'll just be able to buy it.
I think you can just buy it.
Yeah, good. Because I don't want to do another quest for the same gun. I hate that. Sturm and Drang. Drang moved the Together Forever trait to the intrinsic, similar to how the Baroque version works. They added the following perks: Echorized Rounds and Moving Target. There is an issue with the master. Same basic thing as with mini tool.
Okay.
Ruinous Effigy, Transmutation Spheres. Reduce the damage of the aerial melee attack by 25%. Significantly reduce the damage of the drain effect on enemy combatants.
Significantly.
Than Mountaintop.
Mountaintop got a little smidge.
This one was very weird. A lot of people's reaction was like, "You're nerfing Ruinous Effigy. Why? Which of course brought speculation of. So we know that there's mods on the Stasis subclasses where it's like, oh, kill with weapon and you get super energy or you get X amount of thing. So maybe this is about when you freeze an entire room of enemies and then you use the aerial attack, you just get your super back or something like that. So because looking at this, there's no reason to nerf this gun. It's such a niche gun. There's 0 point. You see this and it's just confusing. It's good, but it's still niche. But maybe with the Stasis subclasses, that's where it actually causes problems.
I hope. If they just nerfed it, cuz I'm gonna be like, come on, you know?
Yeah, I know, because I looked at it and I was confused.
It's fun. Don't be nerfing my fun. Guillotine's fun. Don't be nerfing it.
Arbalist no longer strikes shields multiple times, but its efficacy against shielded targets has been increased.
Okay.
Cool.
Interesting.
Jade Rabbit got armor piercing rounds are swapped to high caliber rounds. This fixes an issue that could prevent the exotic perk from triggering.
That's great that it's not broken now.
Yeah. Hey guys, did you hear Adept weapons are coming to Destiny 2?
Adept weapons. Briar, I've never played Destiny 1 and do not know what adept weapons are.
Adept weapons are cooler versions of regular weapons that you usually have to do something special to get, like go to the lighthouse and open a chest. They're coming back with Season of the Worthy. They are going to be subject to the infusion caps.
Yes.
Which, makes sense. Kind of stinks. Like you do all that work, so you earn the special thing. It's going to go away because of the infusion cap, but you'll still be able to use it in quick play. Here's how adept weapons differ from the base weapons. Masterworking an adept weapon grants additional stats. +10 for the primary stat as usual, the specific masterwork of the weapon. +3 to all alternate stats.
That's
good.
Cool. Yeah, you're getting +3 range, +3 handling, +3. Yeah. Cool.
Adept weapons can use either standard weapon mod or new adept weapon mods earned when going flawless. A unique adept shader has been made for these weapons. These shaders are not awarded as a consumable when dismantling an adept weapon. As such, they cannot be applied to other pieces of gear.
Interesting.
You can only have it on the weapons. Give me adept armor too while you're at it, where I can have like specific adept armor mods and then give me a special shader.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. But yeah, cool so far. On board. Like it. Mods are cool.
Adept weapon mods. These mods come in two varieties. Weapon stat boosts, each of which grants +10 to a particular stat in a similar way to a masterwork stats. Example, adept range +10 range. Versions of some existing mods grant an improved bonus, but with a downside. Base version mod explained below. So Adept bag would be plus 40 magazine, minus 20 to handling. Backup bag is plus 30 magazine.
Interesting.
So you're getting 10 extra magazine. I mean, looking at that, I'm like, having plus 10 range on a lot of these weapons, the shotgun, the fusion rifle, the auto rifle, the sniper, the scout, probably all of them, plus 10 range would help all of them feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 10 handling would feel really good for a lot of it as well.
There's no hand cannon in this picture. There's going to be a hand cannon, right?
Unless they're saving it.
There's going to be a hand cannon, right?
If there's not currently a hand cannon, bro. Unless they add a hand cannon.
They got a scout rifle at least.
Oh, great.
They got a scout rifle. The aim assist could kick in, make you dominate.
To earn Adept weapons and Adept weapon mods, players must complete a flawless trials passage and open the flawless chest at the lighthouse. Each week, a different Adept mod can drop. Adept weapon mods will be on a weekly rotation, so a given mod may not make its appearance until later in the season. The mod is unlocked for use on owned Adept weapons when acquired. Adept weapons will be available from the flawless chest on a bi-weekly basis, alternating with armor drops. The first Adept weapon acquired on a given week is a pinnacle drop. Adept weapons will be on a set rotation, so players may continue to earn alternate rolls on specific Adept weapons when completing flawless passages throughout a given weekend.
Interesting.
So the bi-weekly thing was a bit weird to me because now I would expect that on that week where Adept weapons are dropping, a lot of people are going to be playing. On the other weeks, it's going to be maybe not so many people.
That's my thought exactly. Like armor weeks, why would I play? Right?
Yeah. I think I would honestly prefer it if it dropped like the Adept weapon. It dropped, that came as the pinnacle, and then you also get an armor piece.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem with just getting both?
Yeah. Plus, I mean, weapons are always going to be more valuable for most of the player base.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know? Like the collectors obviously want to collect everything, but they're going to collect everything regardless. When it comes to the loot that you really care about, though, like weapons usually are the top of the heap for that.
Yeah.
But overall, like I like the mod idea. The mod idea is cool that you can only put those on the weapon and you can use it on all of the Adept weapons. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
just the bi-weekly
there
thing
being some pretty spicy guns with mods out there.
Yeah,
coming out of trials. It may make trials really worthwhile to pursue again.
Yeah, like there's like a kind of like a pyramid style of like trying to reach the top of that build for a particular weapon that you could be going for now with trials, which actually does pique my interest for sure. Like I'm most likely going to want to try to get some of these Adept weapons then when they're available that week.
We're going to play on PS5.
PS5 trials week. Let's
60
go.
FPS, field of view slider, Adept weapons.
Fast load times.
No cheaters.
Activity cards. The whole 9 yards coming at you. 4K, 60 FPS, 48 gigabits per second. It's going to be glorious.
Cool. Is that for
I
the
think
12?
that's it. Yeah, there's some special stuff. If you log into, if you do the Prime rewards, if you're not familiar with the Prime rewards, you got to like have a Amazon Prime account linked to your Bungie.net account, and then like go watch some Twitch or something. And you get some cool stuff. And this week it seems to be different stuff.
It looks icy. Yeah, you can prepare for the winter of Europa with the Prime.
Yeah,
the ice shall fall.
You know, Xbox put out a tweet today that actually said ice powers when talking about Destiny. So
see, I think it was Cosmo actually called it Cosmic Ice on Twitter.
Because it is.
Perfect.
Facts are facts, guys.
Hey, the fact is, that's Cosmic Ice.
The only other thing in the TWAB is they did say that next week they're going to talk about just like currencies and progression systems in Beyond Light, what's going to be going on there. So that's good. And they also mentioned at the end about bounties, and they said most of your bounties will stay intact, but any bounties tied to specific seasonal activities or content entering the DCV will be removed on November 10th. So examples are Black Armory, Gambit Prime, or Festival of the Lost bounties. Additionally, any bounties that grant progress towards Infamy/Valor may negatively impact your powerful rewards, as they will be limited to Season of Arrival's power levels.
Going back to currencies, like I would like to see them trim down the currencies in Destiny at this point. I feel like there's a ton of them out there. It's getting a bit confusing, even for somebody who plays a lot, which I'm not. But like coming back to it, it's like, what does this do again? Where do I spend this? Like, what is all this for? I could use like a streamlining of currencies and all that stuff. I feel like it's a good time for that with
Yeah.
Especially with the DCV.
Mm-hmm.
Streamline all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's because we know that the raid is gonna not have the artifact enabled. I think that the whole hoarding bounties thing isn't as much of an issue as it was before. Because you hoard bounties to get those crazy levels to get extra levels ready for the raid because your artifact worked before.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't work now. So
have they announced what the first weekend of trials is going to be?
No,
they haven't. Yeah, usually they announce that, let people know.
Because trials has light level enabled, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always fun going into trials the first weekend and being significantly overpowered compared to everybody else.
It is true. That's the time you want to play. Grind out, get high level, and get in there.
Yeah. Usually the first few weeks of trials is when like the most people are in there too. So it's like your easiest chance to get through. Although going back to what they said about bi-weekly, maybe that will extend the amount of time trials is kind of populated for.
Maybe.
I think it's just going to make that thing happen where some weeks people are like, yep, I got to get this weapon. Other weeks are like, yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, they are bringing out a armor refresh. Apparently not this season, which I think they were going to this season, have the armor refresh and just have it happen every September, October, November, whenever the big stuff comes out. But they said that it's coming in an upcoming season, so
yeah.
We'll see. Yeah, it says here, we have a Trials armor refresh plan for a future season after the Stardust has settled from Beyond Light.
After the cosmic ice has chilled.
Or melted.
Broken, shattered. The darkness has gotten thicker.
So Bungie has called up their lawyers and they've served a cease and desist order to a cheating website, a website that allows you to purchase a aimbot to use to Destiny. It's been pretty prevalent on the PC side of things. It's really, I would say, responsible for a lot of people not wanting to play Crucible on PC at all. It's a lot of people have moved back to console because of this kind of activity. And the cheating website, I can't remember the name of it, but it probably doesn't matter. It should be named anyway. Has said they're shutting it down. And once Bungie updates the game, theoretically, the cheating will be over, right?
They served a cease and desist, saying you need to stop.
Correct.
Otherwise, further legal action is going to get pushed forward to them. And they put out some like bitch ass response about how, we don't think we're technically in the wrong, but we're going to do what Bungie wants us to do or something like that.
Because they have better lawyers than us.
Basically. And I was like, come on, man. You can't see that you're in the wrong. It's just crazy. They're like,
well, like morally, they're definitely in the wrong. Legally, I think they probably are too, because I think a good case could be made that they are significantly impacting Bungie monetarily, because the use of this tool has created a situation where people don't want to play the game.
Yeah. Especially Bungie lawyers, they could probably take a rinky-dink hacker website onto court. Take them for all their worth.
I think, like, regardless of like who's got the better lawyers, I think that Bungie's probably got the law behind their side. I'm no lawyer, but I think they're definitely morally correct here, and I think they're probably got the legal standing to back it up too.
I would agree. Yeah.
Hopefully, other like this sets off like kind of like a chain reaction, because that website sells a bunch of cheats for other games. Hopefully, like the other games are like, well, I think Bungie just showed us the path here.
Yeah.
And they serve them too.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous thinking about that whole setup. Supposedly it's a subscription fee. So people are paying a subscription to cheat.
$300
a
year.
Blows
How
my mind.
bad are you at the game to where you want to play that amount of money to shoot people in a game? I guess they're making the money back probably.
How?
If they're doing recovs?
If they're doing recovs or carries or whatever.
Which would further reinforce the hurt environment, like the destructive nature of the environment for the matchmaking in the game, you know?
I didn't even think of that. Jeez.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, glad to see him go. Not going to miss you. I hope that anybody else making cheats for Destiny sees this and is like, well, the writing's on the wall. Let's just stop development on this.
I mean, if they get banged by Bungie's lawyers, oh well. Like you shouldn't have been making shady products. You know?
Yeah, I hope this continues because I know Activision also did the similar thing against a company that was selling cheats for Call of Duty. So it seems to be a thing that's happening now where companies are like, you know what? This war against hackers is such a difficult thing to fight because they make the cheat and then, you know, Bungie has to figure out what they're doing and then they have to patch it. And then they're already working on making the cheat better. They realize what has been done really quickly. They update it. And it's just a constant back and forth. You're never going to be able to get rid of cheaters with this constant back and forth. So I really like that companies are now starting to just go the legal route of fine. We'll sue you if you keep doing it. I'm hoping that makes an actual change.
Same.
Hopefully.
I can't remember who posted it on Twitter, but it was really funny. It was a chat log. I guess there's a forum on that website, and the people who were using the tool were really pissed off. And there was like a chat log of all the people talking about, oh man, this sucks. How am I gonna get good at Destiny now? Or how am I going to play Destiny now? I was using this to get better. And like somebody at the very end of it, somebody just said, I guess you're going to have to just get good.
Yeah. One person.
Is Pope using this?
One person I think said, it's all those YouTubers that made it happen. It's like, what?
That got the perfect
not the people that are cheating and ruining the game. No. Not those.
Yeah, not the actual cheats. No. Definitely the YouTubers.
Yeah, see you later. Not gonna miss you. Fuck off.
Seriously. Good riddance.
Yeah. Hopefully this will make the PC environment much more fun to play in. Although I am eyeing the PS5 and the Xbox 4 Destiny experience. Quite actually the Xbox 4 in particular, because they're gonna have Beyond Light on Game Pass. So I already am a Game Pass subscriber, so I'm just gonna have that for free, which is dope.
Yeah. So the two things, like, great that like I'm assuming it's the biggest aim assist or aim hack type of product that's out. So it's great that that's happening, but it does make you think, all right, how many other of these are out there? And also,
does anybody have the website of the other ones?
Briar's in the market.
Asking for a friend.
He wants to buy some gift cards.
I really want that new Trials of Osiris Elite.
The depth weapons, man. Yeah. Gotta pay for those babies. I hope that Bungie also has some like new tricks up their sleeves for preventing hacking and stuff. Some sort of like anti-cheat that could possibly kick in for Beyond Light. I know that they're not going to talk about that stuff, because if they start talking about it, then suddenly people who are devious are going to start making like ways that they could possibly theorize how they could get around it as soon as it gets launched. So we're obviously not going to hear about how they're going to handle anti-cheat in the future, but it would be great if there legitimately is enhanced anti-cheat that like works or feels powerful enough to really prevent people from messing with their account. You know?
And the hackers, they are scared of downloading a program that maybe puts a virus on their computer. They trusted this website. So I think I saw that in one of the comments as well, where it was like, yeah, but you can go to the other sites, but you might get all sorts of bad things on your computer.
Ransomware.
It just occurred to me, they were spending more money to cheat at Destiny than they were spending on Destiny.
Yes.
Insane.
So I don't even understand how it's fun. I really don't. Like, the whole fun of playing a PvP game is that you play, you get better, and then you pull out some sick, nasty plays that make you proud of yourself and makes your friends go, whoa. When you're cheating, you don't have any of the experience of actually playing the game.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically, once you put enough cheats on, you're just basically watching a movie. You might as well just turn off your computer and watch Twitch, somebody else play. Turn on your Vanguard or Watts.
Yeah.
Watch somebody get
and like, oh.
It's like buying like pizza and then just throwing it out because you got like fake pizza or something. Like, you don't
it's like buying a pizza and watching somebody else eat it.
No, it's like you bought pizza,
like
you open up and it was like a hologram or
pizza.
something. It's like, this isn't real. I didn't get those headshots. What is life? I'm down $300 for the whole year. God damn it.
I can't believe it's $300 a year. That's crazy.
It's insane.
All right. Should we do Twitter questions?
Let's do it.
Is there anything else?
So.
Destiny we need to talk about?
I think that was it, really. Just a lot of excitement. I'm very excited for the story of Destiny. Being on a new planet in Destiny is always really exciting. It looks totally different. Bungie make some of the best environments in the industry. So anytime I get to explore a different one, I'm excited. And the music, I'm excited to hear the music as I'm exploring.
Yes.
So looking forward to all that.
Yeah, they're environmental artists, they're musicians, all of those guys are so good. It's the atmosphere of these games are so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Same.
It ran through my mind. Should I wait to play it until they do the PS5 or the Xbox
update?
4 update? I'm like, no, that's stupid. I'm just gonna play it on PC. But I was thinking about it for a hot minute. Because I'm not gonna do the raid day one, so I'm not gonna like rush through the content.
Right. So you're officially not doing the raid, bro?
I think I'm officially not doing the raid. I don't think I hurt anybody who doesn't know. I'm sure everybody in this chat knows. Is I hurt my back a year ago, and it has not completely healed yet.
Was it the?
It was carrying people for flawless runs. Just really
the perfect aim squats.
Yeah,
being like
backpacking, awfully bad for the back. And I just don't want to, like, health wise, I just don't. It's not just the like 12-hour session to play in the raid, but the lead up, like, to get leveled up for the raid. I just don't want to do that to my body this time around. So I'm just gonna take a pass this time around. Hopefully I'll be invited for the next one.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
You're invited to the one on the 30th.
Yeah, that one's not quite as time intensive.
What are we doing raid prep wise for the raid?
For raids.
Yeah.
Well, I've been leveling up my samurai.
Okay.
I'm up to, I think gear score is around 97 or 100. I can't remember now. And I also unlocked the nude skin for the assassin. So I'm really excited for that.
That's great.
I've been leveling my hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. My hunter's getting leveled up. I think I'm 105 on any character I want. Got those flaming arrows. Hunters have flaming arrows. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think DCP has a solid chance of world's first.
I'm already 105. Yeah. I just got to get my build ready. I'm not sure which character I want to use, but
what's the recommended power level?
I think it's like 105 probably to be
105.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's just
probably,
a matter of like getting the optimal gear then.
I think I'm probably going to go with the Warlock.
The hard part.
I'm going to go with the Warlock, the one that drops piss pools and reses everybody with the super.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They got the best hats.
Yeah.
They do have the best hats.
So yeah, that's a raid prep for the 30th.
raid.
Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima's raid is coming out on the 30th, and we're planning to do it day one. For anybody not following what's going on. We also want to thank all our Patreons for supporting patrons. Is it patrons or Patreons?
Patreons, right?
I think it's Patreons.
Patreon is the website, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Patreons.
Patrons.
Yeah,
Okay.
so.
Well, thank you all for giving us money. We really appreciate it. Otherwise, the show would be very hard to do. Frankly,
how would Briar do Fridays?
I wouldn't be able to even put gas in the Ferrari if it weren't for you guys, you kind people. Seriously, we do really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who donates to the show, either by subscribing to the Twitch chat or donate money there or over on the Patreon. We really do appreciate you all. Thank you for your support.
Thank you, everybody.
Patrons. Yeah.
Patrons.
That's what we're calling you guys from now on.
That's canon. To Twitter questions, Ringo the Fandango says, congrats to 300 podcast episodes. He figured this by adding 211 for DCP to 89 for Planet Destiny. And Tifty, you were saying it like you're not into adding those two up.
Well,
because it's two different podcasts.
Yeah, I view DCP as DCP. You know, I know that our legacy goes back to, 89 episodes is a lot for sure. And technically, we've been doing a show for basically 300 episodes or 300 weeks ish, and that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's a huge milestone right there for sure. But usually, I like to split it up. Like I look at DCP as DCP, Planet Destiny as Planet Destiny. You know, our other shows as those shows. You know.
That's why I just say we've done 300 Destiny-related podcast episodes.
There you go. Yeah,
that works.
It's a long time. Long time we've been talking about
It's a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like it's funny because it doesn't feel like we've been doing this for like 6 years.
No. Yeah.
No. Definitely not.
The math adds up.
Yes, it does.
Weekly.
Ringo also says you do an amazing job since 6 years, loving every bit of it. Keep it up. In retrospect, what do you think is the biggest difference between PD and DCP?
Pope's not yelling at me currently, although he did at the beginning of DCP. He's like, "Where are you? What are you doing?" He calls you in the middle of the stream. He's like, "Let's talk."
I'd say
I think that's actually the biggest difference, right? It's like we have control of our own destiny here, and we didn't at PD. Like we were employees of Planet Destiny.
That's true.
I was gonna say that. Like there was times where things would be sprung on us with content about a show that we weren't necessarily like completely on board with. We're kind of like, well, okay, I guess we'll figure this part in, and that wasn't really under our control. And obviously with DCP, we're fully under control of that. We get to call the shots with how we're gonna structure it. We get to call the shots on how
employees. Now we're the employers.
We get to call the shots on how unprofessional we actually want to be on the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is very unprofessional.
Yeah, they were like, no, you can't be that unprofessional. You know,
and we're like,
but we want to be unprofessional.
We're gonna do DCP at the bar.
We totally should do that sometime. That'd be fun as hell. Next time, when all this crap is over with the pandemic and stuff, and we can actually travel again, we should totally do a DCP episode from a bar.
That would be amazing. And then you can invite people. We can hire out the bar. We can have all the people come who like DCP come to the bar, and they can hang out and watch the show. We could drink.
Deej would reprise.
That'd be amazing.
Do a reprisal.
That would be great.
Friendly Awesome Dude Man says the quest for older exotic weapons are going to the Destiny Vault, but are they still going to be available to acquire? What about ones like Anarchy and Teraba?
No, not for a bit, right?
Didn't they say they were going to rework how you acquire them at some point? But it's unclear if it's going to be available right away.
Yeah, that's how I remember it.
Something about buying it from the Cryptarch and something about the quest thing.
Yeah.
Something.
Did they see? What I don't know is if they actually confirmed that's how it's going to be, or if it was being reworked and people are speculating that you're going to get it from the Cryptarch. I don't know, but I know it's going to be available at some point. Where just the details are a bit unclear.
Yeah, I would say if you really want those weapons, just get them now because you can farm for it as many times as you want. You can just keep getting checkpoints for the final counter. Just farm for it and get it now before it.
Yeah,
Anarchy's you don't have to worry about it.
Anarchy's fun. It's probably going to be useful in the future still. Yeah. So,
could you see him coming to Xur?
Yeah, possibly. It depends on if they're going to make them like an actual quest, and then it's like you have to do this specific chain of things to get your Anarchy, or if they're just going to make them a Xur/Cryptarch purchasable type of thing.
Wait, is there a future in which you could see them just not being available to new players?
I don't think they do that.
I think it's a bit cruel, right? Like,
well,
these don't sunset. Also, you can't have them.
Yeah, some of these are just, they can be meta-defining weapons for how to take down an event or a boss. And I don't really see Bungie being the type of developer that wants to make exclusions like that. Like, you look at Warframe, they'll put stuff in the vault essentially, or they'll make it so you can't get a certain type of kit, for a while, and then they'll eventually bring it back out. And I don't think Bungie wants to do that specifically with their weapons, their exotics,
especially exotics. Yeah, I can see them do, like, to me, cosmetics, absolutely fine doing that. I almost encourage it because like it's a way of saying I was there for this, right? But exotic weapons, like, they got to keep a way of getting them. Twaddle and Tosh says, yeah, what happened to the new alien race we were supposed to be getting? All I've seen is Frosty Fallen.
Frosty, man. Stay frosty.
Maybe they're in the raid. I don't know. Maybe they're in a strike. Maybe.
They were, like, we were expecting a new race, right? Or was that just like a community, like, we just made that up?
It's a community expectation for sure. It was a community expectation, not expectation. I don't know what that was.
I think what happened was there was a rumor that said there was going to be a new race, and then people were like, "Oh my god, there's a rumor, and it's July, and people, oh my god, this is happening, this is real." And Bungie is like,
yeah, because I definitely remember talking about it on the show, but I don't remember Bungie ever addressing it.
I don't think they've ever said that for sure there's a new race. No.
Yeah.
Community hallucinations.
Yeah. What's that called? Like the Mandela effect?
I do like that.
Where like everybody just like...
that just reminded me
Natalia
of what earlier in the podcast when you said Eramis.
That's his name. Her name. Wait.
It's Eramis. It's not Eramis.
I disagree.
Yeah, you're right. It is Eramis.
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 Natalia says, are you guys excited to have a worm thing as a ghost?
A worm thing?
Worm thing?
I don't know.
Worm thing.
You guys might know.
Well, I'll say that the little worms that you pick up in the one strike with the best girl witch lady, and you have to put them. You have to put them in they're the like keys to do stuff.
They're kindling.
Pick up the wiggly worms. If I get to have that as a ghost, I'd be down for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really know about like a worm ghost. I just know about the fish ghost thing. That
I am excited for the fish ghost.
Stranger has.
That's definitely a fish and not a worm, but like worms are cute too. So
fish eat worms. So think about that.
Baby.
Guys.
Yeah.
Perfect aim's done. Bungie.
Hi, I'm Axe says, is Mountaintop the most hated gun in Destiny's history of guns? The most hated gun in the history of guns.
You got to think of shot package.
That's a perk though. Like I know the Destiny community has been very mad at perks, like final round, shot package. Has there ever been a gun that was unanimously pretty hated?
Every Need Spear was synonymous with final round.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, that's kind of what
I'm saying. Was hated. Hated. Thorn was hated for a while. But Mountaintop has just been hated for so long.
It was hated before it came out.
Yeah.
People were like, you're putting a rocket launcher as a primary?
I'm going to say no.
This is tough.
It's unanimously hated. Like with Thorn, the PvP heavy people did not hate Thorn. They thought it was great. So I feel like Mountaintop is pretty unanimously like,
Yeah, I'm thinking back
we
to
don't
like
like
those
it.
metas, and I think Thorn. I think Mountaintop has been the most disruptive to the game in terms of how it's affected just casual gameplay. So I think.
Well, thank God they're buffing it or they're nerfing it 5% because that's.
Thank God it's getting taken down a notch.
Thank goodness.
Yeah,
Achievement Raider says, "Is anyone else disappointed by the TWAB? I'm a PvE only player, and all I got was more nerfs to many of my favorite toys. It's going to take a lot more than that to consider rockets and merciless again. What do you think PvE meta will be? PvE meta."
Well, there was definitely
that is always the problem with being a PvE player is that when they do PvP nerfs, like you just kind of get stuck in that.
There was definitely nothing in there that made me go, "Oh my God, I can't wait to try out this." Like, the hand cannon changes is probably the biggest shuffle of stuff, but there was quite a bit of like, "Hey, this cool thing that you've gotten used to using and doing lots of damage with, it's not gonna do as much damage."
Yeah. I hope whatever the new meta is are new guns. Like, I hope that they are new actual weapons that come out in the new content. Like, I have to be honest, is a lot of Destiny just is getting to feel old to me. Like the way the guns feel, like I've been using them for 3 to 6 years, depending on the archetype. And I am very ready for new. I'm really excited for the new areas to explore. I'm really excited for the new subclasses and the new supers. And I'd really like a real kind of a real change up with the weapons at this point.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I don't really think that's going to be the big change up that you want to see when it comes to Beyond Light.
No, I don't think so. But I am like, I'd like to see it in the next year or two for sure.
It's mainly because we've had the same archetype of stuff and we've had similar perks too. There has been new stuff and changes and things that have adjusted and shifted here and there. But for the most part, it's been similar. And, you know, Destiny is a great game. It feels fantastic when you play it for the first time. But yeah, if you've been playing it for 6 years, a lot of those similarities kind of blend into each other. And it's like, it would be nice for some new Sandbox type of stuff. I mean, the problem is they have done that. Like bows happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Laser guns, like they've introduced new things to shake things up. But it's like we've fallen back on the same stuff that we're used to in D1.
Yeah, I think your biggest PvE switch up is going to be the new classes and how you can use those and how you can build out your new class with the different mods and perks and stuff that you can use. Sunsetting's probably going to push you to some new weapons. New weapons coming out, of course. Yeah, I think all of that together is probably going to create maybe a new thing. But yeah, there was nothing in the 12 that specifically said about PvE. Like, I would have loved to see scout rifles getting a bit more love in PvE. Like maybe they have an X damage bonus in PvE or something. But yeah, I think if you put everything together, it's gonna feel pretty fresh for you. But there was nothing in the TWAB that let you know about that.
What would change things up dramatically is if they really did double down on elementals and environmental stuff. And you know how we're talking about how they're shifting more and more towards action RPG elements and all that. If they really do go that far with it, and Stasis becomes like this give and take elemental push-pull type of thing that happens, and then they start adopting that with the other elements, then that's going to make Destiny feel fresh and new, because that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Actually, that leads well into the next question. Doughboy says, what would you guys want to see in a weapons 2.0? I'd actually like to find and combine weapon parts to actually forge my weapons. I would love to see weapons. I would love to see a lot of what Tifty just said. It's like, you know, I think that would really make the game feel fresh in a bunch of different ways, because like if you did almost like a rock, paper, scissors system where like, you know, like solar damage did more damage to somebody with cosmic ice shielding, right? And then like cosmic ice shield weapons did more damage to somebody with, let's say, void. And then like kind of like you work it in a circle like that. So you're always thinking about what weapons you're using. You're always thinking about what subclass you are, because my shields aren't as effective against the weapons that the enemy is using right now. I think that could be really good because it just introduces a new thought process to what you're doing.
Exactly. You know? Like if you're not going to change up the archetypes of the weapons, then change up the interactions that they have with the environment. You know?
Yeah. I can see that being a lot of fun.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, I really do like the idea of crafting your own weapons. Like if you just take Monster Hunter, for example, you go and farm that monster over and over and over again until you get the parts that you need to make the weapon or you make the armor. And I think a system like that could be put into Destiny pretty easily and work pretty well in terms of just how it fits with the game. You know, I can go and farm a specific strike and get the parts to make this specific thing, or go around to different worlds and pick up things to craft a piece of armor or a gun. I think I would enjoy that rather than just like it drops, I get it, and I'm like, okay, cool, let me go get another drop. It might be cool to be able to craft my own thing.
Yeah. They remember when they were beginning to go down that path just a little bit in D1? With the weapons week or arms week. Remember that? Arms Day would come up and like they were beginning to give us frames for weapons. So then you go do like a bounty for it. And next week you get the full package. Like they were beginning to walk down that path of giving us ways to craft certain pieces of gear. And I was digging that too. And I wanted more of it. And they definitely decided to go away from it. I'd love to see that more in the future.
Me too.
What about a system where you feed, like if you get multiples of the same weapon, you could feed it into like your favorite one to power it up so that every time you get something, it's not just a duplicate. What's that? Say that again.
You're going to refine your weapon?
Yeah. I mean, other games have definitely done this, and I think it's really successful because it makes it makes duplicate drops feel worthwhile, at least for a while, you know, until you're fully leveled up.
Yeah. Until you refine it 5 times.
Yeah, built 5 times are fine. Yeah.
Maybe do it more for Destiny.
I'm completely with you on this.
Times.
Yeah, I love these type of elements in games that really kind of give you this like feeling like you're always working towards stuff. Like Monster Hunter World did a fantastic job on it. It is a completely different game from Destiny, so obviously you can't just one-to-one it and suddenly it makes sense. But there's elements in these games that really would be fantastic in Destiny because people want to play a lot of Destiny, and the problem is you get to the end of the tunnel really quick when it comes to the progression, and then it's like, go play with the hackers in PvP. Once you're done, you're like, but I want to like, you know, do cool PvE stuff and work on my builds and things. And
I would really enjoy going out there and farming for stuff. Like genuinely, instead of, you know, I need to do 5 strikes. I need to do 5 Gambit games. If I could go there and say, okay, what do I need to make this specific roll on this specific gun? Okay, I need to go out there and do this strike. I need to go and get this planet material. I need to go and do this lost sex. I would really like to just go out there and get stuff and experience the world, experience all the different things and craft the stuff that I want. I would really enjoy that personally.
Blink 148 says, did the TWAB meet your expectations? Oh, it met mine because I had none.
I didn't have any expectations either, really.
Yeah, I'm in this waiting period of just, I want the new stuff. I want to play the new. And yeah.
Like if I had spent a week like anticipating a TWAB about Sandbox changes, no, this is not what I would have been hoping for.
Yeah, I guess so, because they said that they were going to talk about Sandbox. So I can imagine there was a lot of people that were like, "Ooh, we're gonna get this big Sandbox update and this big switch up." It's definitely not the crazy switch up. The hand cannon thing is a pretty different thing that's happening. You know, they're consolidating archetypes. They're changing the way it's 110 to 120. So I think that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Oops. Spooky Kato says 110 and 140 hand cannons got buffed. Rocket launchers buffed. Scout rifles buffed. 600 RPM ARs nerfed. Well of Radiance and Top Tree Dawn nerfed. Top Tree, Night Stalker, and Nova Warp buffed. How many did I get right? So I think he made this prediction before it came out. Let's count how many he got right. 110 got buffed. I mean, they got changed to 120.
That's a buff. Yeah.
140 kind of got buffed because they took away 150s. So that's kind of a buff too.
140's got a buff.
Rocket launchers buffed. They kind of got buffed because they got more ammo.
Technically a buff.
Scout rifles, they did get buffed.
They did get buffed.
600 RPM ARs nerfed. Yeah.
True. They did get.
Yeah, he's hitting 100% right now. Batting 1,000. Well of Radiance and Top Tree Dawn nerfed. Well, they didn't talk about subclasses.
Yeah.
So you got all the weapon stuff right, Spooky, Fricato. But they didn't do any of the subclass stuff. So
did pretty good there though. That was that was good hits.
Good. Adrian 2 says, what elements would you like to see added in the future of Destiny? I'd be excited for a wind/earth/water.
Yes. Dendro.
Basically, I wanted to become Avatar.
Yeah. Yeah. I would be totally down for earth stuff because then you look at subclasses, right? And what does an earth-based subclass look like? You can sprout roots out of the ground and grab people, and like there's so many cool things that you can think of with all of the different elements being added. So yes, and yes. Earth one I think excites me the most, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. I don't know what it would be, but it sounds cool. I never watched Avatar, so I really have no reference to what that could be. Jordan King says, what Halo multiplayer map would you bring to the Crucible rotation? Halo multiplayer map. I don't remember any of the names of them, so this is going to be hard. I have to describe them.
I always like Battle Creek. That was fun.
Yeah. Was that the one with the two bases, like on opposite sides of the map? And that was fun, but with no vehicles. I don't know if I'd like it with no vehicles.
Oh, no. Battle Creek was smaller. There wasn't any vehicles on it. There was two bases. There was an arch walkway in the center where like a rocket launcher was. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the names of some of the maps also. Yeah.
I mean, they made good maps for the Halo games, especially I feel like Halo 2 and Halo 3.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't use any of the ones with vehicles because there's no vehicles in Crucible anymore. So you'd have to limit it to that.
Maybe,
but I can't remember any of the names.
Maybe
anymore.
Beyond Lights, bring it back. What was it called?
First Light.
Yeah, you know what the mode was? Oh, I can't remember the name of the mode.
Combined Arms.
Combined Arms.
Combined Arms.
It was that.
Yeah.
Combined Arms. We're gonna get First Light back. Here are your vehicles.
I miss Combined Arms. I used to like it. It was fun to mess around with.
We actually remember it every now and then.
Yeah, I did too. Remember when you could do like you could make your own like Crucible modes? One time we did Combined Arms combined with what's the name of the mode in Trials? Elimination. That was fun. They're quick rounds.
You can do some silly things.
Mike says, exotic class items. Do you miss them? And if so, would you like to see them return? I miss the faction exotics.
Yeah, I mean, I like to see them return. It's one of those things, though, that like there's a ton of exotic ghosts, and I really don't care at this point about exotic ghosts or exotic vehicles.
Yeah, I don't.
Sparrows.
I felt like they were just exotic to be exotic. Like there's no point in them, right? It was just if they're exotic because they do something cool, that's one thing. But if they're just exotic to be exotic, I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'd be down if I could take like a legendary class item and upgrade it to an exotic, and maybe it has a fun little glow on it. Maybe it's got an extra perk on it or an extra mod slot or something.
Truck nuts, maybe.
Truck nuts. Yeah,
truck nuts.
Absolutely.
I want truck nuts on my ghost.
Maybe some
Make
decals.
Space nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Give me decals.
Yeah.
Wayne says, Perk Dame got their cease and desist orders from Bungie, and the non-cheating community all raised a hallelujah. What is any other part of life where you wish you could issue a cease and desist to get the same result?
To the entire internet, maybe. No, to the assholes on the internet. You know, someone's being an asshole. You're like, oh yeah.
I nominate Watts to be the decider of who's an asshole too. Like if it's in question, I mean, a lot of us just know, right? But if it's in question, we say Watts, and she'll be like asshole. Or no, not an asshole. He can stay.
I hereby do declare.
Send the letter. Oh, and also, yeah, definitely the people who are keep sending me emails saying that my PayPal account has been limited. They're getting a cease and desist.
Oh, how about the people who keep calling me about my car warranty?
Yeah, definitely them.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I want to like
all
upgrade
those
the
guys.
cease and desist to an automatic, just incredible slap across the face once they get it. Just,
I think
you know?
if I were president, Tifty, I would run on this platform.
Yeah.
I think that every American should be allowed to slap one person per year. Just a good, open-handed slap. No legal repercussions. You're allowed one per year. You got to know what, like, you got to be damn sure you're going to use it because you only get the one.
You got to take video evidence of it too to show, like, this is my one. I have my one. You upload it to the government website so it tracks, like, okay, you've got your one down.
Like, do you want to hold on to that slap? Wait till the person you want to slap use their slap so they can't just slap you back?
This is a strategy game. Nice.
I believe that every American deserves one slap
Per year.
We're slapping Americans, is what Breyer's saying. Breyer says every American deserves a slap.
No, they deserve to give a slap. But hey,
not get a slap.
you know what? I think it's humbling. It's good for you to get slapped every once in a while. You know, like it puts your ego in
did
check.
something stupid. They used their slap on you. You're like,
right?
wow, I'm an asshole.
You hurt somebody
idiot.
enough that they felt the need to slap you.
Yeah, they had to use their one yearly slap on your ignorance.
That's true.
They're like,
now
this
you need to
will
figure out.
hopefully slap the ignorance right out of you.
That's
Yeah,
true.
maybe there should be a monetary. Like you got to also give them like $25, like or $100. Like here, I slapped you. Here's your $100 too.
No.
You know, because
everybody gets a slap.
No.
Some people are going to have a lot of people slapping them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
there's
okay,
going to be
they
like a
deserve it.
line.
That's
around
Maybe
the
we'll
block.
force them to
That's
go
a
to
reckoning.
therapy and get some help.
Yeah, that's a comeuppance. You know, that's a
Yeah. Mhm.
so it should be triggering something in their mind if they're continually getting the slap.
I believe in one slap per citizen.
Slapsgiving. I like that old goat. Slapsgiving.
Yes.
That's yes. A lot of them are going to get used around the holidays.
I think a lot of them are going to use it January 1st, to be honest with you. I think January 1st, you just want to stay inside. A lot of shit's going to go down on January 1st. You stay inside. It's going to be like the purge out there. People slapping it all over the place. But then you got the rest of the year just holding on to your slap.
That's true.
We can market slapping gloves, DCP branded slapping gloves.
Yeah, whole business behind it.
Yeah. You know, like arm braces so you don't get like slapping elbow.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up the next
Got to
day.
make
what
it to where
happened?
the old folks can still slap. Yeah.
Yeah, they
They
can
have
get
them
a
missing
slap.
out on their constitutional rights of slapping
Oh yeah. You can slap anytime.
once a year.
Nobody's left out of slapping.
Do they have legal jurisdiction to approve someone else to delegate their own slap?
Oh no, you got to slap yourself. You can't be like calling up like, oh, I'm gonna get like some MMA wrestler to
No.
snap for me.
Power of attorney.
No, you got to do it yourself. Sorry. Ovis says, with the new raid being in that deep stone crypt, the birthplace of the Exo, do you think we could see more information on Clovis Bray and what might have happened to him in the long, slow whisper, as mentioned by Cade? Cheers for the podcast. Stay well.
The long, slow whisper was a sexual position.
Do you think that people are not putting commas in these just to piss me off?
What?
I'm just wondering. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I forgot what it's called now. The long, slow whisper or something. It's definitely something sexual. He's making babies. We're gonna meet his nation of babies.
Oh my god. Like a army of Cades.
Oh, but they're like experimented on. They're experimented on in his Clovis Bray location building. So he has all of these babies through the long whisper, of course, because we know what that is. And then he experiments on them. And then you see a bunch of like half Vex, half man people, robots.
Do you think he's perfecting the perfect slap? The slap that resonates through time and space. It reconfigures the fabric of time.
The low the log slow slap. Yeah.
Incidentally, is another sexual position.
The Brabies. Ooh, I like that name. Karanath, that's great. The Brabies. That's the next rating counter right there.
Max says Bungie added falling guillotine and now the mask of Bacchus. Bacchus
sounds more fallen. Bacchus, that works.
Slowly fulfilling my weeb power fantasy dream. What other anime like weapons and or abilities can you think of that would be perfect for the Destiny universe?
First of all, we're gonna need some different armor and maybe some extra mechanics to add to the game. Physics, you could say. That's our
like
first
more underwear?
More long, slow slaps.
Where's my cleavage? Huh? What the hell, Bungie?
Where is my cleavage?
Yeah.
The ability to before you use your super, you have to actually call out your super.
Yes.
No,
that feels anime.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That's what I want.
I'd be into that.
I'd actually be into that. Yeah. You know, the little animations of playing Genshin Impact. I want that.
Yeah, I mean, every time those things get called out, when I hear them, I'm like, that doesn't get old. That's awesome.
It never gets old.
Never. It's great.
Rybread says, if Destiny were ever to get its own movie or mini TV series, when would you want it to take place? During D1, D2, sometime before, sometime after? I would love old stories and lore to be fleshed out that we know about, but we haven't seen in game, like the Battle of Twilight Gap, for example. There are like 3 commas missing there, Rybread. 3. At least.
They're just doing it to piss you off, Prior. Next thing you know, no spaces.
No spaces would be the power play right there.
Let's not forget, I do select the questions. Like 15 a week talking about eating briar that I do not select.
Wow, holding out on us.
15.
Oh, at least.
I would like stuff before D1. Like, yeah, the collapse would be great. Golden Age, collapse, all that stuff. Because a lot of the future stories or lore that's in the game, we have the opportunity still of playing that. But all the stuff that's happened before, I don't think they're going to bring in like the collapse DLC or something.
And
go back in time.
Remember when we saw that cinematic of Zavala coming up and becoming Zavala and like meeting people and helping? It was so cool. And it was only a cinematic. That would have been just so cool to see that in game unfold in one of these quests of discovering the past.
Want to know, how did Ikora get so damn badass?
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would actually make an excellent miniseries right there, Watson. I'm with you.
Yeah,
I want the Hunter Vanguard, the original Hunter Vanguard, a mini-series on HBO, so there's full nudity, about the Hunter Vanguard kind of like becoming the Hunter Vanguard. Or not the Hunter Vanguard, the Vanguard, like the original Cade. Shut up, Siri!
Siri's like...
Cade, Ikora, and Zavala. I think that would be awesome.
I would love that. Yeah. Like I want to know about their childhood. How did they grow up? How did they get these space powers? How did they become the Vanguard? I want to know all of that because I actually don't know anything about that. And maybe that's...
When was their first Jimmy Russell?
Yeah.
Definitely. That's why I wanted an HBO, man.
Like, is it Tango? I think that's the space magic.
What I wouldn't want them to do is do like the stuff that we've played in game, because I don't want just another version of what we've already seen. I want like new extra stuff.
Yeah.
Sparky Mark says, what is your favorite improvement that is happening with Beyond Light, and why is it Adept weapons?
Definitely not Adept weapons specifically. Like, that's great, but I'm more excited about a new subclass, Stasis, and how they're changing the subclass and how there's going to be the things that you go and find and configure. Like, it might just kind of be very one-dimensional ultimately when we see it, but I'm hoping it's like a really two-dimensional, solid feeling RPG style type of thing with Stasis. So that's what I'm looking forward to in Beyond Light.
Yeah, I agree. Stasis is what I'm super excited about.
That's really my answer, but just to be different, I'm gonna say new places to explore. Like I love new places to explore. Like that first landing and like kind of like feeling out like where everything is really one of my favorite things in any game. But in Destiny, it feels so good to like, I hope it's something like the Dreaming City where there's like a bunch of secrets and there's like all cool like little alcoves with like little like cat sculptures and like that type of thing. Because that's really kind of my favorite thing.
I really like that Bungie's adding the annual slap into the game, so you can slap any NPC you want.
We have the white glove slap already.
I just was thinking about slapping Zavala. Be like, hold Y to spend your slap.
It's like your raisins. You never want to spend your raisins,
Can we get a yearly slap available in Destiny where we can use it on an NPC? Zavala's going to get a lot of slaps. Cryptarch
is going to be my man. I'm going right at him.
Up and just, boom, the data pad hits the ground,
6 years you've been screwing me. Tosi says, if you could put a new weapon archetype in the game, what would it be? And what would the best use for the weapon be? Joke answers only. Okay, joke answers only, he says.
New archetype.
The slap. The annual slap.
Yeah.
You get to use it anywhere in the game, even on a raid boss. One hit kill on a raid boss.
Oh, yeah. You can save it for the cheaters that are still hanging around. Use your slap on them.
Oh, yeah,
That's that flawless
right the
game.
Fuck out of the game.
I like it. Do you just equip your arm for the slap?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
They can make it a one-time use weapon.
That's what we need. One-time use weapons. It does.
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah.
Like the golden gun, right? The golden gun, you switch to it. It switches to an actual weapon.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool if you could have weapons that you can whip out that are super powerful that you have to do, I don't know.
Yeah.
Slap people to get it.
The golden slap.
Veritas Otis 52 says, this might be a Fran Marabella spreadsheet question, but if the elements of Destiny worked like rock, paper, scissors, what would be what? Stasis can be included. I like the way you use punctuation, Veritas Otis. Very respectful. If the elements worked like rock, paper, scissors, what would be what?
So we have what? Solar, void, arc, stasis.
Yeah. Solar beats stasis.
Right.
That just makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stasis
beats
maybe void because it slows things down technically with the cold.
Okay. Then that leaves void beats arc and arc beats
fire.
Solar. I mean, they don't make exact sense there, but I don't know if you're ever going to get those to make sense.
Maybe switch void and arc around.
So that stasis beats arc. That makes sense because it kind of
just freeze the electricity.
Freeze the electrodes. It is stasis. It's not ice. So you can freeze like our good friend Griffin has told us. You can freeze more than just ice.
Yeah.
Stasis. So you can freeze electricity.
So isn't technically electricity just like really fast moving electrons? So wouldn't like freezing them in place stop electricity?
It would nullify it. There you go.
Yes.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's lore from your lore masters here at DCP.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Burton says, hi all, hope you're well. Who wins in a fight, your Guardian or your multiplayer character from Ghost of Tsushima?
Ooh.
Guardians have guns and rocket launchers and stuff. That's pretty good.
But my assassin I think my assassin could get in there before my guardian even realized.
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean,
and then they could throw a smoke bomb down. You lost them. Where do they go? Can't see.
well, your guardian
throw
has a
dirt
smoke
in your
bomb.
eyes.
Too.
Whoa. Doesn't make you go
Actually,
miss-
your guardian and your assassin are actually very similar. They can both get invisible. They can both throw smoke bombs. They can both use a sword.
That's true.
I gotta go guardian here.
Yeah, you see, I feel like it's obvious the guardian because it's space magic and guns and power and all that, but I really want my ghost to come out on top because it's so badass.
I'd pay $50 to watch it on pay-per-view. I'll tell you that.
What about Spirit Bear? Can you bring Spirit Bear?
Battle Bear.
Spirit Bear wins everybody.
Battle Bear wins all. Yeah. No
I don't think you can hit the Battle Bear. I think the Battle Bear is just you can't hit the Battle Bear.
Especially if you're holding a fucking barrel. Bree says, "What was your favorite day so far? Memories of time gone by." And he says, "Mine is finally getting Super Mario Kart 64 and running the courses with my dad. Love the podcast and all the hosts." Thank you, Breeze.
That's awesome.
What's your favorite day ever?
My favorite.
That's a hard question.
I'm not going to do any obvious ones such as weddings, babies.
Okay, yeah. Good thinking, because that gets you in trouble if you don't say those ones.
Don't include those. Well, so there was a day that I really, really, really liked. It wasn't anything particularly special, but it was a day that I decided I was just going to watch one episode of the show that now I can't remember the name of. I will look it up in a second. But I watched one episode and I was like, ooh, this is getting good. I think I'm just going to watch the entire series right now, right here. And Bella was laying on me the whole time while we were watching the show. So I'm just sitting there with Bella, got the fire on, watching a really good show. I'm engrossed in it. Bella's having kisses and cuddles. And that was just a good, wholesome, relaxing day. Like that day stays in my mind very often because it was a day where I just had a good time. I wasn't on social media. No one was bothering me. I was just sitting there watching TV with Bella having kisses.
Nice. I bet that's going to be common. I bet there's no social media on anybody's best day ever.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's see. I've got a Christmas morning that I got a space Lego set that I adored. And I was really big into Legos when I was a kid. And both my dad and brother helped me put it together when that happened. And it was around the same time when I think my brother had got a Super Nintendo also. And so there was a Super Nintendo in the house and space Legos. And it was just, I was on, Christmas break. And I was like, this is great. It's a very fond memory.
That sounds like a good day.
Mm-hmm.
I think mine was for my bachelor party. A bunch of friends, we all rented a house up in New Hampshire, and we just kind of like chilled in the house and went to like breweries around there, and just kind of like we played like horse balls and drank and started
horse balls?
A fire pit. Horse balls is that game with you have two balls on a string.
You playing with
and
horse
then like
balls?
a ladder. And you throw the horse
go
ball.
up to random horses in the farm and just
See
like
a horse
tickle
in the
them a little bit.
field. You do a dare.
You just your slap on the horse's balls, and then you see how far you get.
I dare you to spend your slap for the horse. Oh my god.
Who has the balls to spend their one slap on these horse bones?
But yeah, we went to a bunch of breweries, and then we played a bunch of yard games. We had a fire, and it was a transitional moment for me. It was like enjoying all the people that I had spent so much time with, like as single Briar, and knowing I was about to transition into like married Briar with a family, knowing this was kind of like the end, but like really enjoying the time I was spending with those people was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, the name of the show is Unbelievable on Netflix, by the way.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. There was another one that was a really great day, but it was when we did karaoke. That was a great day.
That was awesome.
That was
when
a
we
good
had
day.
packs and we met some awesome people, and then we went to karaoke, got absolutely wasted.
Yep.
Very
Dicks
wasted.
off a trash can.
Eat dicks off a trash can.
I'm still upset that I bought a shirt from the ice cream shop across from that place. I can't remember the name of it, but it had like a French bulldog as the logo. And
I remember, yeah.
it was like, this is actually really cool. I want this shirt. And I bought the ice cream, and then I got the shirt, and they didn't give me the shirt, and I was too drunk to remember that I didn't get the shirt. And so then when I got back home in SAC, I looked at the receipt, and I was like, $40 for ice cream? What? Why? And I was like, the shirt.
Just for people who don't know the sequence of events, it was PAX evening. We went to karaoke, got drunk. We were like, where should we go? We don't want to go home. So we went naturally, go buy ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember Tifty saying, that's a really cute shirt. I want to buy the shirt. You were
Yeah, it had the French bulldog. I was like, it's got a Frenchie. This is so cool.
You would think it was the coolest shirt ever made, the way that Tifty was talking about that shirt.
It was a super hip Seattle looking shirt from a Seattle ice creamery.
Yep.
That I don't have. Sad about it.
Nope.
Clue says, what up, crew? How's everybody doing? The question is, it's a gloomy, rainy day. What drink goes perfect with this weather? 1, coffee. 2, hot chocolate. 3, other. Gloomy day. What's the perfect drink?
For me, it's gonna be
I
coffee.
gotta go. Yeah, it's maybe a little like fancy coffee, one with
pumpkin
lots of
spice.
foam. Yeah, maybe a little sprinkles, couple of sprinkles on there by the fireplace, or super fancy hot chocolate. What chocolate coffee?
Chocolate coffee. Is that a mocha?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's coffee. Coffee's the go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy Collins of Podcasts We Listen To says, would you rather fight a briar-sized gerbil or 100 gerbil-sized briars?
Ooh, gerbil-sized briars. So
I just like to imagine what 100 me's would wreak havoc on your belongings.
Wait, so a briar-sized
just imagine,
gerbil?
Just a bunch of no. Yeah, briar-sized gerbil.
Or 100 gerbils, or 100 briars that are size of gerbil.
Yeah.
Or a briar-sized gerbil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying.
I think I could take a briar-sized gerbil. I mean, it's my size.
That's a really big gerbil.
One of those
But
lights,
having 100 little briars running around, it's just gonna wreak havoc. Like,
Yeah, I have all of them. Will they all be giggling in Briar's maniac
they all playing
giggle
horseball.
way? they all play horseball.
They spinning their slap.
They're all readying their slap hand as they run around after you. I think even if they're gonna murder me, I need to see that. I need to witness. I need to witness that.
Flint 3125 says, had to change the name to stop embarrassing the wife. Still love the show. Quick question. Have to move this year as our tour is ending in Europe. If you had to move, where would you want to live for 2 to 3 years? So you're moving somewhere. It's only going to be for 2 to 3 years. Where would you want to go?
I know this is the most obvious answer in the entire history of the planet, but it would be Japan for me. Now, the reason isn't just because of, Japan anime, but like 2 to 3 years is the perfect amount of time to go somewhere, get engrossed in the country, and learn a language.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I could go to Japan for 2 or 3 years and come out with, a pretty good handle on Japanese as a language.
Cultural experience.
So that's what I would want to do. I'd want to learn the language.
See, I feel you on that. I feel like any of the, like Japan, Thailand, even maybe like Vietnam, like those places, or places in Europe, Spain, like for 2 years, be like, I'm gonna be here for 2 years. Be enough time to really experience it, become like almost a local, and then your time's up. You're going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's perfect for Japan because like I wouldn't want to live there forever because the work for Tomo would probably suck. For me, it's fine. I don't have to deal with society's standards or norms. But for Tomo, it would suck. But it's like the perfect amount of time for me to just go there, learn the language, have a great time, experience living in a completely different place, and then head home.
Yeah.
I would go to Italy. I think like the south coast of Italy where the weather is beautiful. You got that awesome climate, you got that awesome food, you got those awesome people. You know, I think I'd have like a motor. No, I'd get like a Vespa to like scoot around on, you know, and just have a great time for 2 or 3 years. I think it'd be the perfect amount of time to spend in Italy.
That does sound great.
What if the locals get a taste for Briar?
That would be bad.
But then we could learn all about brand new recipes.
Briar bruschetta.
Left Horn of Shacks says, it's my birthday today. In honor of this, 2 questions. Do you think Guardians celebrate rebirthdays? And what are your favorite memories of birthdays you've ever had?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Do you think they celebrate rebirthdays? We've never seen one in the lore or anything, have we? Do we know what day we were born?
No.
Or reborn?
Our ghost would. Maybe our ghost says happy birthday, Guardian.
Yeah, I guess. We were all born on the same day. Maybe that's why we all say when we started playing the game. Because everybody says when they started playing the game, right?
Yeah.
Is like if somebody comes on the podcast, they always say, I started playing during the alpha, I started playing during the beta, I started playing during House of Wolves. So that's your rebirth day right there.
There you go.
Yeah, there it is.
Zachary Rishin says, hello, everyone. What is one thing you like about the multiplayer in Ghost of Tsushima?
Everything.
Feeling like a badass motherfucker. This is what I was saying to Tomo yesterday. I was like, I just feel like a badass. I had a situation where I was using Hunter. So it's all about using the bow. You can still use a sword and all that other stuff. But I was defending a point by myself. I shot someone in the face with an arrow, assassinated a guy, perfect parried, and then killed the other guy. There's not many games that offer an experience that make you feel so cool as Ghost of Tsushima. And they still do that in the multiplayer. It's very, very evident in the single player. I think you'll hear a lot of people when they review the game say, I just feel like an awesome samurai. But in the multiplayer, it translates perfectly as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking today about that game and how it's kind of subdued the excitement for a bunch of other games that were on the horizon for me. Because like Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I've loved the last 2 Assassin's Creed, but it feels very similar to Ghost of Tsushima. Also, Godfall, like the whole point was like a kind of a looter with like, melee, like a slicing, what did they call it? Like a slash and
slusher.
A slusher.
Yeah.
A slusher, right?
Yes.
Well, that's kind of what I'm doing.
Yeah, it makes the pressure on Godfall to feel really good. Like that combat has to feel really solid and fluid. Otherwise, people are going to be like, yeah, didn't quite hit the mark.
Yeah, because it has a lot of the similar things, like with parrying, and it's definitely got similar feels in it to what I assume Godfall's going for. So Ghost of Tsushima has set the bar for a lot of variations of games, a lot of genres.
Yeah,
the stabby grabbies.
The stabby grabbies.
Jaiko says, hi, DCP. Love you all. What is the best drink to have in a hot tub?
In a hot tub?
Yeah. This has got to be something ice cold. I think it's a mixed drink. Maybe something like one of those drinks that's actually got crushed ice mixed into it. You want to like contrast the hot tub with an ice cold drink.
Like a margarita, like
margarita, I think is perfect.
Delicious. Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound great.
I
agree with
that. That's your answer, margarita. Animu Pepper says, do vampire fangs double as straws to suck the blood, or are they just devices to puncture holes and allow the blood to come out?
Do you get the little, if you've got sensitive teeth and you bite something cold or hot, you get little pain tingles in your teeth? Do vampires experience that?
I don't think.
And is that an
vampires
anime that I could watch?
Are after Frosty the Snowman so much, though. Most people are pretty warm.
Realistically, they're probably not straws.
Well, fangs by definition are hollow in the middle to inject venom, right?
You telling me wolf fangs are hollow?
Wolf?
No, I was thinking of like
venom?
snake fangs, actually.
True.
That means are vampires closer to like a wolf or like a snake?
I think they're like a bat.
Bat.
Bat, I don't think have straws. So I'm gonna go with puncture, and then you suck the blood out.
Yeah, because they show it on the face. It's all like all over the place.
That's true. It is all over the place.
They're usually not the neatest drinkers.
Yeah, so they're
sloppy drunks.
It's a puncture and then suck it up. Punction suck.
I'll get back to you when I get a bat. I'll inspect them.
But I was saying that I want to watch an anime that is a really like self-conscious, self-aware vampire that like really hates biting into people and like its teeth tingles every time that happens. But has to do it because it's a vampire.
That probably exists.
Yeah,
probably. That sounds very anime.
That was my mom in Skyrim.
Yeah.
The one DLC where you like turned into a vampire and she did a quest and she was not prepared to turn into a vampire and she hated it and was asking me how she could turn back being a vampire.
It was hard to turn back.
It was, yeah. It was.
Would you guys, if you guys were presented with a choice to become a vampire, would you guys accept said choice?
Will I be moving close to Briar? Because we've already come to terms with eating Briar. Drinking Briar ain't so bad. And Briar might actually be okay with it because he'd be like, well, at least I'm not getting eaten.
Yeah, I would rather get the blood sucked, honestly.
Are you getting drained or are you getting converted, though?
You're getting converted. You're going to become a vampire.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying for you, Briar. If you're going to be okay with the whole vampire situation from us.
Well, I mean, if it's a choice between getting eaten and just getting drained, I'm going to go drained. If I only got the two options available to me.
I don't know. I think this comes with the question of what are the perks? I need to see the full perk list.
You get to be super hot.
But
because vampires are pretty sexy.
Yeah, you get to glimmer apparently.
But also you're like super cold. All right.
You can't go in the daytime outside.
Yeah, and you also have like a really high acute sense of smell. So anytime anybody smells kind of off, you're like, damn, is that a dog?
Can you go outside with an umbrella if you're a vampire?
Lots of SPF 1000. I think you want to just dose up on that.
And the thing is, do you get some crazy super strength and speed and flying all that crap, or is that just Hollywood?
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, do you though? Yeah. Or is it Hollywood?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, no. I mean,
you can at least become a bat and fly, at the very least.
Yeah. Or smoke. You can become smoke.
You become smoke.
Yeah.
You can dismember into particles and then reform?
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
Well,
obviously.
How could you refuse an offer like that?
Yeah. I don't know. Like all the books and the movies make it sound like it's so awful, but I think it sounds like a blast.
Because you have to drink people.
Yeah. Well, I can find plenty of people on Twitter to drink. No problem. They're lining up, frankly. I'll just unmute all those people. Start following them. Hugo Rune says, what would be your favorite choice of animal to evolve to? Okay. What would be your favorite choice of animals to evolve to take over the world and make humans their slaves, like in Planet of the Apes, but with it not being apes, with it being the animal you choose instead?
Who would be kind? Oh, what are those called? The quokkas? Quokkas?
I don't know what those are.
Cloaca.
How do you spell that?
Cloaca. The cloacas.
The cloaca evolved. Took over the world.
The quokkas. Right? Is that how you say it?
Quokka?
Yes. Yeah.
They are adorable.
They're just super friendly. So their thing is they don't have any natural predators, so they're just like, oh, happy fun times, everybody.
Oh, they even smile for cameras.
They do. They're great. So I think if I'm gonna have anyone rule over me, it's gonna be a happy, friendly, lovable quokka.
This article says it's the world's happiest animal. I think you've nailed it, Watts.
Nicely done. These are adorable. So for changing things up a bit, just because I'd be interested in the outcome and how it would actually work. Dolphins.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Because how would that work?
Yeah.
Right. They're in.
It might just be like how it is now, to be honest.
No, but apparently they are going to take over and enslave us somehow. So how would that play out? You know, I want to see the full evolution of that. And be like, oh,
this could happen with global warming. You know, the sea is rising. Like, this is our inevitable future, frankly.
Maybe they'll hire you to go to the grocery store because they definitely can't go to the grocery store. Maybe they want to try out some soda pop. And they're like, Tifty, go fetch me my soda pop.
Yeah, they want the Baja Blast.
They do.
Dolphins are also a huge fan of rape, it turns out.
Really?
So keep that in mind.
Keep that, yeah.
Yikes, man.
Or as Lay says,
that's a real
highly sexual. Aggressively so.
Well, they're just taking over. All right. They're not. I don't think they're going to be doing any kind of beak to beak type of stuff.
When beings take over, they definitely do not do those types of things.
When rapey people are in charge, guess what they do?
This establishment is feeling a little rapey vibes here. What's going on here?
How about sloths, right? Because they're really slow. So like,
chill.
You know, any punishment that you receive is going to come at like super slow motion. Like they punch you and you're like, you know, and like if you got to run away from a sloth, like you could do that at a brisk walk.
No, but here's the thing though.
Counterpoint. Oh, you have a counterpoint.
Well, I'm just saying that like what we're putting forth is that they've successfully taken over the world and enslaved humanity. All right.
Yeah.
So this quote unquote benefit of the sloth somehow doesn't really exist anymore because they've achieved it. So.
Well, maybe they achieved it, but it's a super temporary achievement because we're all like, wait a minute, we don't have to. We can just walk right past them. They can't do a thing. They're so slow.
But they took over the world. Yeah. What's your counterpoint?
Was that because they do everything so slowly? Wouldn't your workday be made longer because they expect you to work at their pace? So they're making you work 17-hour workdays.
It's like recording, like it's like being the secretary for Ents. Like it just takes forever for them to say each word.
Yes. Tree Ents. Yes. Also, I figured out how they took over the world. They developed crazy, powerful mind control abilities. Because, you know, when you look at a sloth, you kind of get this feeling like you're being controlled by the sloth, you know?
Analyzed.
No, I don't get that feeling.
That's how they took over the world. Yeah, they're analyzing.
Maybe this is how it starts.
Like,
Tifty is one of the first people noticing.
They're like,
keep your eye out.
They cast their gaze on you. You know, the sloth has gazed upon you, and then suddenly it's like computer analyze, and then they've got a whole profile of you. They know all your data and history. They hack the world, and they got mind powers. Boom! They're like the lawnmower man, but in sloths.
Yes.
I think we came up with 2 good answers, and then there was also the rapey dolphins, which is very scary.
No, but how would it work? They're in the ocean, we're on land, but they took over the world.
They have legs.
Do they got like these trucks in like tubs of water bringing them around so they can delegate tasks to humans?
Oh, they're like the big like zit guy in Dune.
Yeah. He's got his chamber tube thingy. Yeah.
Mohegan 9, this is the last question of the night. Says, are we really just a brain operating a mech made from bone with a meat shield?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
technically, we do have a operating system built into us, you know. So, little DNA operating system right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
we are just.
We have firmware, so
that's how it be.
Do I get updates sometimes? How do
you ever
updates?
like
don't talk to
kind of like feel your bones like in your body and like think, oh, this is just the same thing that I see like a skeleton, you know, like that's inside of me, and someday that's
when
all
I'm
that'll
high.
be left.
Yes.
So when I've ingested mind-altering drugs,
bones.
Joe, man, do you ever think about how, like, one day You're gonna be like in the ground and stuff, man.
Briar's going around on Halloween looking at all the skeletons like, bro, you see that skeleton over there, bro? That's like me, bro. Like in my brain, it's the same.
If I had an annual slap, I'd use it right now. All right, I think that's it. Thank you guys.
We did it.
For watching.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
We nailed the questions this week. I think we actually we killed it this week on questions.
Exceptionally so.
Best week ever for questions.
I think we set a bar.
Best week ever.
Yeah. A new standard for DCP.
Set a new bar. A new high bar.
Mm-hmm. Mark the calendar.
You're welcome.
Mark the episode 211. The new standard of questions and answers.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you very much for hanging out, watching, listening with us tonight. We appreciate all the support. Shout out to our Patreons and our Twitch subs for supporting the channel as well. And shout out to Fran, aka Elvis, for quietly casting his gaze.
Extra dressed for us today.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Extra effort. And I like this effort, Fran. Bring it on raid day.
Yeah. He's just staring into your soul the entire time.
He's actually been managing his inventory the whole show.
God, that's the look.
He's been
That's the
creating
look you get when you're
spreadsheet.
managing your inventory.
This is definitely a spreadsheet for Ghost of Tsushima
Spreadsheet
raid
look.
prep right here. He's
All right.
calculating DPS.
I'm really glad that I'm walking away with tonight's show with knowledge of horny dolphins and the slap.
And slaps.
Yeah, that's great.
And
the annual slap.
Annual slap.
Don't forget to vote.
Yep.
2020. Your platform for annual slap.
Look at that on my. If you're watching the video version.
Oh, you voted today?
Yeah, I sent in my mail-in ballot today.
I decided not to send it in. I decided I want to go to the polls and actually do it the same way as always. I'm just gonna wear I'm gonna go with the full gloves and the mask and everything. But I actually want to go to the polls this year.
High chance that you might be able to find someone to use your annual slap on there.
I don't think he's gonna be there, but in spirit, I will be using my annual slap.
High chance. Oh man. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you want to find more of me, you can talk to me at Teft on Twitter, and you can catch my streams twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Genshin Impact, Ghost of Tsushima.
A lot of
Legends.
weeby stuff. Let's just
A lot of weebage. I'm nervous. I'm nervous what's happening, Suddenly I'm thinking about vampires that have sensitive teeth. And is it an anime? And I have glasses now? What happened?
You have glasses.
Yikes. Watts, where can people find you?
I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Just look up Miss 5000 Watts. My most recent video on YouTube is me and Tifty having an imposter round for the century.
The greatest imposter round ever.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
We didn't get called out once, right?
Not a single time.
Yeah, we were both the imposters. We played, I think actually it's technically a perfect game. We played a perfect game.
You played the perfect game.
Yeah, and
perfect game.
T-Rex at the end was like, man, my mind is going to be blown if it's actually Watson Tifty. And suddenly it was like, so who are you voting for?
It was
what is his exact words? Something like, if it's Tifty and Watts, we're all idiots.
Yes.
Boy, oh boy. What a game.
Wonderful game.
Briar?
Are we still? I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me on YouTube. I just put up a video today ranting about some shit or another.
Nice.
You can also find me printing up new yard signs. Vote 2020 annual slap.
Perfect.
Is there a place where we can donate to your campaign for the annual slap?
On Patreon, just go to Patreon/.dcp live.
/dot.
It's great that after 211 episodes, we don't really know the URL.
I log into it 5 times a week too, at least.
Yeah.
Let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now. Don't stop the show.
Professional people are like, yeah, check us out at .com. Make sure to use our code DC. Use code DCP at scufgaming.com.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think that's what makes us unique.
Exactly.
Yes.
Uniqueness. That's what that is. And our professional opinions on lore in the Destiny universe.
Yeah. We should make a lore podcast and learn literally nothing.
We're going to call it a disaster cast.
We can have a subject every day that we go into. I would just make it up.
I think it's just patreon.com/DCP_live.
Did you go to the URL? Did you check it?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
There you go. Well, thanks for watching. You guys are amazing.
Thanks,
have a
everybody.
fantastic night and fantastic weekend. Thanks for watching. Listen. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.